certainly has proven it at just about every level. Arsenal aside, he has been absolutely fantastic. But Jeff, I want him to stay.
I mean, I just wonder whether that experience at Arsenal will make him feel, rightly or wrongly, that he still has something to prove.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. Despite Arsenal's Champions League momentum, former Arsenal and Man City forward Emmanuel Adebayor still has Guardiola's side as favourites for the title.
But trust me, it's not going to be an easy task for both of them. Let's see who wins. But I wish, for the first time, I wish Arsenal wins it because they have been working towards this for so long time.
Arsenal are still undefeated in the Champions League, conceding just 6 goals. Danny Murphy says Arteta's done brilliantly.
Yeah, I think you can see a super talent when you see one. He's obviously got an abundance of talent and he's going to be a top player. To start talking about him in the same breath as Ronaldo is ridiculous.
Bayern Munich versus PSG is live on talkSPORT tonight from 7 p.m. and Arsenal invincible Martin Keown wants the German champions to make the final.
They've already played each other. It was a 3-1 victory, and somehow I think Arsenal might have a better chance. The PSG are just remarkable in the way that they play.
Tomorrow night, it's Villa Forest in the Europa League semi-final second leg. And after Morgan Gibbs-White's nasty head injury, Vitor Pereira says a decision will be made tomorrow on whether he can play. Remember, talkSPORT's got live commentary from Villa Park tomorrow night. Michael Owens told talkSPORT Liverpool have dropped the ball, letting Andy Robertson leave at the end of the season.
I think they pensioned him off too early. I don't think, but to be playing him now in a lot of the big games, they played him at Old Trafford, they played him against Everton. It's not a great look for Kirkes, is it?
He also says Liverpool should go for Jared Bowen in the summer to replace Mo Salah. Get all the latest on our website, talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
3 patients have been medically evacuated from a virus-stricken cruise ship, and a travel expert tells holidaymakers not to panic as figures show 13,000 flights have been cancelled over fuel shortages. More with Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. You can't trust the weather right now, but you can always trust Pirelli tyres. In stock now at your local centre. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Showers largely confined to the far west and east of the UK by the afternoon. Chilly with temperatures below average.
Kush Jumbo and Peter Capaldi!
It just so happens that it's all "You're amazing."
Right. Paul White! Sir Lenny Henry!
I was face down and the dog sniffed my crotch. It was very, very embarrassing.
Staying out for the summer.
You're listening to Rushden and Make on talkSPORT. Hawksby and Jacobs for the Jossies Giants generation.
Oh, yeah.
What's coming up between now and 4, Charlie?
We're called Jossies Giants. Football's just a branch of science. Head the ball now, Jossie go. Jossies Giants. You are the best person I've ever met, Max. And I met Monica Lewinsky once. We've got 2 Arsenal bits because they've had a good couple of days. Johan Djourou and Jacob Hawley will come on separately. We'll do some Forest, and Crookie will join us to talk the managerial merry-go-round.
Julien Laurent will do PSG. Rafa Honigstein will do some Bayern as well. We'll talk West Ham with Will Pugh and the Athletics. Adam Leventhal has done a new documentary about the World Cup and war, and it's fascinating, and we'll talk to you about that.
Yes, the massive success that is the Wheel of Football continues. It was amazing last week. Let's hope it can continue the upward swing. And we might do a 2-word phone-in if we can come up with a good idea. We're not sure yet, are we, Max?
Not quite sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie.
Good afternoon, Max. I've just this second finished a flapjack. And so
I did notice
if I sound claggy, it's because of that. I can only apologise.
Do you think you timed it wrong?
I timed it
wrong?
very badly. I don't know why I was
at school. At school when they were like, so can I go to the toilet? They said, you've had break time. What time did you get up this morning, Charlie?
I got up at, I woke up at 6 and then I got up at 7.
Okay. So what is it now? It's 1.
Yeah.
So you've had 6 hours to eat your flapjack, without being on air. And then you ate it just before you went on air.
I was eating it during the news, during Max Scott's news.
Yeah.
And then I asked him if he was going to Villa Park to watch the Forest Villa, and he's doing a watch along with Gabby Agbonlor, which I said was a really good idea. And when I said that sounds a really good idea, that'll be a great thing to watch and listen to, I chucked the rest of my flapjack in me gob.
Yeah.
And then
that was your mistake.
And I've been spitting out oats ever since then.
And how was it? Spitting out oats is it's not what rappers say, is it? It's not.
Man, you are spitting oats.
You're spitting oats today.
It's a West Country rapper. I came here tonight to see the crowd go boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Come on.
Can I? Well done to Arsenal, by the way.
Well done, Arsenal. Very, very good.
Yes, and it wasn't the greatest football match I've ever watched, but I don't think Arsenal fans care. I don't think they should care. Two things I think need to stop happening.
Okay,
that I've seen recently. One is Diego Simeone walked over the Arsenal badge when he was walking down the tunnel, much like I think Ben White walked over the Atleti badge. Why are football clubs just putting massive badges right on the floor in the middle of the tunnel that you walk through?
Shout, yes.
Why don't you just not put it there if you don't want people to walk on it?
That's a good text topic, Max. When did you walk on something you weren't meant to? That's a good text topic, isn't it?
Very good. Yeah,
It could be someone's grass, or it could be, a brand new carpet story, or whatever, lino, whatever. I don't know what your house setup is. But,
could be just an old lady.
You could have walked on an old lady and you didn't mean
to. Exactly. So, But that is just not a story. I'm not saying some broadcaster tweeted that out with, the emoji of the eyes looking one way going,
yes.
Oh, is this a story? Not a story. It's not a story. Man walked down a pathway.
Good impression of the emoji though for the people on YouTube. There,
thanks. It was a good one. Maybe that's a skill I've got. I could do all the emojis. What's this one? Oh, it's the aubergine. No, don't worry.
Which emoji is Max doing? It's a great radio feature.
It is really. I'll have to wait until the sports bar to pull out the aubergine.
Yeah, please put the aubergine away.
The other story, which actually, we know, is the lead story on the BBC Sport website.
Oh yeah,
and not just because they're a rival, but they've done a piece, and they're constantly thinking, what's the next Arsenal piece? Because obviously they do Arsenal in the Champions League final for the first time in 20 years. That's what you do for a bit, and you say, is Arteta a hero or not? Will they win it? Blah blah blah. And now it's, did they celebrate too much or not? Right? And you're just like, come on.
You've got to let people on.
And then it says ex-pro A said, I think they celebrated a bit too much. They've not won it yet. You've got to win the final, then celebrate. Ex-Pro Y said, they're in the final. Why can't they celebrate? Football's about moments.
Yeah.
Ex-Pro Z said, no, I think they've celebrated too much. And Ex-Pro A, uppercase A, I've gone all the way, said, I think they didn't celebrate. And it can go round and round and round.
And Ex-Pro Z and A will be on the breakfast show tomorrow morning.
They're hosting Drive, aren't they? Our new hosts of Drive, Ex-Pro A and Ex-Pro B.
I was surprised at how much they celebrated. I will say that.
You're doing it.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Celebration, please.
I was surprised because I was like, I'm here for any celebrations ever anyone wants to have in their whole life, whatever they want to celebrate. But I was like, this is a lot. They're doing it a lot. Doing the holdy hands and running towards the people.
Yeah, but good for them. They've just got to the Champions League final for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah. But they haven't won it.
No. Listen, now we are having exactly the conversation I don't want us to have. Stop it.
You brought it up, and it isn't. Unfortunately, it is an interesting conversation. I was just surprised. I was surprised. I was surprised at how much they were celebrating. Genuinely,
I can't believe anyone is saying they're celebrating. They want.
I'm not saying they're celebrating too much.
If they'd had a bus parade today, I would say that is too much.
Yeah, okay.
They won a football match and they were happy on the pitch after winning a football match.
Yeah.
And now I hate you a little bit because, and it's my fault
now
that we're having the conversation.
You're now Ex-Pro A and I'm Ex-Pro Z.
Ex-Pro A.
Well, neither of us are Ex-Pros. We're not allowed legally to have the conversation.
Are we not allowed?
Because we never even played the game.
We didn't play the game. Well, I'm still playing the game. you know, and it's a different level, but how dare you put me in the same boat as you?
I've got my one game a year next Saturday, Max.
Oh, okay.
I play one game a year. I'd
game.
like to play more, but I just don't have the time.
Yep.
One game a year next Saturday. I'm in goal as well, which is never good. I'm okay in goal. I'm okay in
Yeah, you're
goal.
not bad. You saved a penalty against me.
I did, yeah, but that was smaller goals. Full-size goals when you're 5 for 8. It's just pathetic. Just lob me. That's all you got to do is just stick it high. Stick it high.
Oh, really?
Next Saturday, Cheshire United. I think it's nearly sold out, so exciting. 3 o'clock kickoff.
Who are the big stars playing?
Russell Howard's playing.
Okay, yeah.
Maisie Adams playing.
Okay, there we go.
Maisie Adams. Alex Horne's playing.
Yeah.
I tell you,
it's a great day.
Cheshire United's Alex Lafleur is playing, who is
Alex
some
Lafleur.
player. Yeah, some player.
That's a great name.
Some player as well.
That is a character in Dream Team. That is a new star in Ted Lasso, isn't it? They've just signed Alex Lafleur.
Yeah, some player. Some player.
He must be good.
And an annoyingly nice bloke because he scored 2 goals against Torquay last season that meant we didn't go up. There we are. Good luck.
Good luck. But no, well done to Arsenal. I mean, I'm pleased. Can you stop texting saying you're Jesus, you walk to water? I don't like me. Thank you so much for doing that. I just don't think, I'm not sure Jesus is a talkSPORT listener. I think he's a Classic FM guy. Personally.
You think?
Is what I think.
I don't think Jesus, just because he's from the old days, likes old music. I think Jesus would want to keep up to date with.
Do you think he's Six Music? Do you think he's listening to Six?
I think Jesus is pulling off a Six Music vibe.
I don't know. I reckon he's ringing up LBC furious about something. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, Sean's sitting on the dump button in case we say anything.
I
think we're allowed to talk about. I think we're allowed to talk about which music Jesus likes. I think you're allowed to talk about that on the radio. He doesn't listen to all
I
hymns.
was an apprentice.
He'll get bored of hymns. He hears hymns all the time.
No, that is right. Is he not this? Busman's Holiday.
He's like, I'm at work. I don't want to hear this.
What he wants to listen to is West Country rap. That's what he loved, wasn't it? Jack, the Chelsea fan, says, when I was an apprentice, I walked on a newly tiled floor in a new kitchen. The adhesive hadn't set and the tiles shifted. No. Boss was livid. I had to pay to put it right. I actually got told not to walk on it until the next day, literally 30 seconds before, says Jack.
Very good. What did you walk
on? Hi, guys.
I
walked on our IKEA flat pack wardrobe before it was built. I had a massive crack and quickly jumped off. I let the wife open it and had a 20-minute rant on how IKEA don't take care when delivering items.
It was
all their fault. It felt good to get away with it, says Rory and Welshpool.
Colin says Arsenal celebrations were far too medium, just in the middle there. Annoyingly, not one way or the other.
Are you totally indifferent to how they celebrated? This is Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Check out their wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Toolstation. Former Arsenal defender Johan Djourou, who was there in the 06 when they last got to the Champions League. He'll come on and we'll talk about last night.
I promise I won't swear.
Calm down.
Right, listen, we need to get them. It's not right. It's not fair. We're getting out off here.
Well,
I just wanted to speak to you. Get that violin out. You can get that violin out all you want, right? Listen, we did not deserve that. Oi, who get that violin off there? Oi, I love you two. You know, I absolutely adore you two. I listen to you all the time. I've never called up before because I'm always busy. I used to be a milkman. I used to listen to you all the time when I was a milkman. I used to always shout out to the milkman, but I was too busy to even do it. Oi, listen, we did not deserve that at all.
Well, you're 3-1 up, Dave, right? You're 3-1 up. And within 12 seconds of kickoff, it was 3-2.
Michael Oliver didn't score.
Listen, will you tell Goldstein that I want a money match at snooker with him, please?
No, we're not telling him that.
Tell Goldstein that I want to beat him at snooker.
No, phone drive. If you want to speak to Goldstein, phone drive, right?
He's got the wrong show, mate.
No.
And you can't phone up, blowing smoke up our backsides and then say you want to... Right, listen.
Listen, I love you, Gundy. I love your hair transplant.
Davo.
I love your hair transplant. I want one myself.
Davo.
I need an hair transplant
Right,
myself.
listen, leave it, Davo.
I've seen yours and I want one myself.
Davo, leave your details. I'll get you a candy deal.
Listen, I'm going to be famous one day, yeah?
Right.
Yeah. I'm a mix between Peter Kay and Roy Chubby Brown, yeah?
Right.
I'm better than both of them, yeah?
Jumbo and Peter Capaldi!
It just so happens that it's all you're amazing.
Right. Paul White! Sir Lenny Henry!
I was face down and the dog sniffed my crotch. It was very, very embarrassing.
Staying out for the summer.
On talkSPORT with Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. It's a sign for Snickers.
Breakthrough for Arsenal. Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0. It's their star boy, Bukayo Saka, who has broken the deadlock.
He reacts the fastest and taps it in, and it's a great goal for Arsenal.
England's finest, Arsenal's star boy.
There is the full-time whistle. A historic night for Arsenal. For the first time since 2006, the Gunners are Champions League finalists.
Showing everyone they can go about it a different way, they can mix it. People question them when it comes to two-legged football. I thought they were absolutely outstanding this evening. Now it's about can they go to Budapest and finally cross that white line and bring home the Champions League.
There's heavy criticism of this Arsenal side. The Gunners don't care.
These Arsenal fans, they're not going to forget nights like this. Arteta's class of 2026 are 4 games away from immortality.
Yeah, let's look back at the Champions League action with Snickers, and we can do it in the company of former Arsenal defender Johan Djourou, who joins us now. Hey, Johan, how are you?
Hey, Johan.
Hi, guys. I'm very good, thank you. What about you?
Very well, thank you. Yeah,
thanks
really
so much for coming on. What did you make of that last night then?
Amazing. You know, I have a huge smile on my face today because I mean, it's historical. I mean, the Gunners have been consistent on what they've been doing, but to make it that way where people were doubting, it's even greater. So yeah, I'm so happy for Mikel Arteta and for the whole team because they deserve it. They haven't lost a game in the Champions League, so no, it's an amazing moment.
And I think something that I took from it was, you know, there's been a lot of talk about how nervous Arsenal have been recently. And I was expecting it being just 1-0, even if Atleti weren't really creating that much, the nerves to build, the stadium to get nervous like it's been. And it didn't. Like, the players didn't seem nervous. The fans didn't seem nervous. It just seemed petered out. It was like they just did everything incredibly well.
Yeah, I agree on that. But I think, it's always a tricky question when we speak about the nerves. I think, yes, externally people could think they're nervous because they haven't won for so long. And it's true that maybe you could feel that inside. But I don't think that get to the players because they have a goal and they've been doing great since the beginning of the season. City lost some points as well on Monday. So that gives you as well a boost of confidence. And I think that now you can feel that sense of believing. I never thought it was gone, but for sure, I thought that yesterday they were very stable in the mind and very, very keen, very keen to go to their goals and to that game.
And they're nursing him back, but Bukayo Saka really getting back to his very best, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I would say he had a good game. I think he was very intelligent to recognize that the defender had on him was really sticking to him, and he tried to actually to make that run in behind most of the times. I think we can expect more, but we know he's coming back from injuries as well. He had a tough time. Things haven't been easy for him, but to be so key at this moment shows you how great of a player and a big player he is, for sure.
And how impressed were you with Victor Gyökeres? Because it hasn't been an easy season, and he hasn't held the ball up brilliantly at times this season. But I thought, leading the line, I thought he was immense yesterday.
It was incredible. I think it was incredible. And I think, what is important with football is that when a new player comes in with such a price tag, you're always expecting them maybe a lot more. But the adaptation maybe takes some time. It's a new city, it's a new club, it's a new philosophy, it's a new pressure. But I think that in his role, that role is one of the best. And he showed it yesterday, the way he held up the ball, the way he made that Atletico defense struggle at time, to give the Arsenal a breather. And if we can actually use him in the right timing, in the right direction, I think he's going to be a huge plus. And he's being that player. He's being that player that gives you that breather, that gives you that link play as well sometimes. And I think that those kind of games will give him a lot of confidence.
I think that whoever wins tonight, I think they'll still go into the final. Arsenal will still go into the final as the underdogs. Do you think that helps them in some ways? Because they might feel a bit more like, well, we can just go for it. Shackles will be off.
I think that's a fair point. I would say that if we look at the other semi-final, it was, spectacular, I would say, in terms of tempo and of quality. But what I would not take for granted is the way Arsenal can defend. And I think a team that will play Arsenal, they know that if they concede, it will be very difficult to score. And for me, that's why, maybe they are underdogs because we are only talking about what of a fireworks it was last week and the way Bayern and PSG has been playing. Mm-hmm. But Arsenal beats Bayern in the group phase. So for me, there is a lot of positive to take on. And I think that Arsenal, the other two teams, PSG or Bayern, won't be happy to play Arsenal in the final.
Yeah. Would you rather it was PSG so there's no chance of Harry Kane scoring the winner against Arsenal?
Yeah, if we go that way, I think it would be better for sure. But no, honestly, I think today you cannot pick and choose. But because those two teams are great, but the way Arsenal have been performing and the way they've been sound defensively, I think they have a huge chance.
Yeah, and actually, it makes what will make a huge difference is whether they get over the line and go into that game as Premier League champions, right? And it is, it's made for them now. I mean, I don't know what you think of that 3 games. I think West Ham is it's tricky because West Ham has something to fight for, but you would dream of Burnley at home and then Palace away with possibly a European final for Palace.
Yeah, no, for sure. When we look at the calendars, I would say that it's straightforward, but as we maybe thought as well with City. So that shows you that the Premier League is very difficult. You never know who you're going to beat. Maybe West Ham turns out on a great day and they had the point. So yeah, for sure, it would be great if they could actually be crowned champions before that final. But anyway, I know that they've got the resource to be there, to be present on that day as well. But obviously, it will be the cherry on the cake if they can win the Premier League.
The Wenger team that you played in, Johan, Who gets in to that team from this team, do you think?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, that's a great question, but I think that Thierry Henry will have to get in for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought more, yeah.
How you put more after?
The other way round, the other way round. Who from this team gets in that team?
Oh, sorry, who from? Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. Jens made a great save, but I love Raya, but yeah, that's good. That's a tough one.
Declan Rice?
Yeah, I think, but the midfield that time, because we had injuries. So if, let's say,
Patrick Vieira,
on
isn't
that
it?
day, exactly. So I will say that Declan will actually, come in that team for sure.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Wenger did so much for Arsenal. So if Arteta manages to do what Wenger and no Arsenal manager ever has done before, which is win the European Cup, and there have been questions like a month ago that Arteta might have to go if they don't win anything. It's sort of it's mad, these fine margins for these top managers.
Yeah, but that is elite sports, because people want results, and we are talking today, but maybe at the end of the day there will be no trophy, and the question will be raised again, So, but for sure, for what he's been doing, and I think the trust the process was very important in a way that people get now we get very impatient very quickly. We might think, he's not we need to change. But the way he's been holding himself, he's been holding his way of playing, and the way, even though maybe we don't play that well at times, but he's very efficient. And I think that at the end of the day, no one will remember that game against Atletico if we win the Champions League. So he's one of the great, that's for sure.
Johan, thanks so much for coming on.
Johan,
we really appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Have a good afternoon.
Johan Djourou there.
What a nice guy, Max. He was great.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, lovely man. I liked it, the debrief after.
I liked his vibe. He was good. He was a nice guy.
Imagine if you'd said I didn't like him.
No, I don't say anything. I don't say anything if I don't like them.
No, he was excellent. Baker playing in goal triggered a memory of mine when I played in goal, and some of my family came to watch me. At half-time, they went off for a bit, and just after the second half had started, the ball came to me, and as I went to kick it up the field, a gust of wind came and took the ball back over my head and into the goal. Luckily, my cousins weren't back from the shop to see it. I'd have never have lived it down. It haunts me when I see a goalkeeper make a mistake. But he says it was a big gust of wind.
How big?
We did gust of wind last week.
What ball was it? We've done that.
We did gust of wind. We did have an idea about well, we'll throw that idea out in a second.
Okay.
About small balls. But I will explain it. I will explain it in detail. There's a sporting context in just a second. That was a look at last night's Champions League with Snickers.
Champions League semi-final review on talkSPORT with Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Grab a Snickers.
Gentlemen, good morning. Calling all the way from Sydney, Australia.
Good morning.
Lovely to speak to the supply teachers today, as the headmaster and Principal White and Jordan not working today. Alex, you might remember me. I rang up just before the Europa Cup final last year, and you were going on about victory parades and buses and things like that. And we still managed to beat you in an awful game, but we had no Kulusevski, Bergvall and Maddison. And I did hear Adam Nathan, who you quoted, who is the purveyor of the finest gin and tonics in North London, said that you were kind of veritably choking in your quinoa bowl during the Brentford-West Ham proceedings.
He definitely doesn't eat quinoa.
Well, you know, I'm being ironic, but the reality is this is the first month that I've gone to work in Sydney with a veritable spring in my step for quite a while. Full credit to De Zerbi. You know, we've got a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I did speak to Simon and Jim 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said that we were down, and I you know, we're not there yet. We've got a long way to go, but De Zerbi, in a short period of time, he's been clever. He hasn't imposed De Zerbi ball on them. He's gone about with the vibes, as the kids would say, boosting the morale. And, you know, Tudor, much maligned. We got them running and fitter again, and he gave them a base for De Zerbi to play the way that they did yesterday. So, and that's for all the West Ham fans crying into their jelly deals this morning. You know, as other messages that you've got, we've got 7, 8, 9 players out injured. Crystal.
It seems Mikel Arteta's brought back the old George Graham-style hard-fought 1-0 wins in the big games, and talkSPORT's Darren Bent says it's paying off.
There's no right or wrong answer. I think we've seen now from this Arsenal team, certainly where they are currently as we sit today, that this way is effective, and you can win major trophies, hopefully, by playing this way. It doesn't have to be pretty, and it doesn't have to be expansive.
Arsenal through to a first Champions League final in 20 years, but does that represent a significant achievement for the squad? Gabby Agbonlahor.
Don't want to be negative, but if you look at their route, deservedly finishing top of the league stage, but their route to the final, they should be in a final. Now the hard work starts, preparing for that.
Who will Arsenal face in Budapest? Bayern Munich at home to PSG is live on talkSPORT tonight from 7 p.m. Expect thrills and spills. Now, if Michael Owen could make one signing to replace Mo Salah, it would be Jared Bowen.
West Ham, you know, adore the man, and rightly so. But if West Ham went down, he would fit for me.
Owen's also told talkSPORT Liverpool have pensioned Andy Robertson off too early. You can catch up with Owen's interview on breakfast on the talkSPORT YouTube channel or app. And John Rahm doesn't see how he could get out of his Liv contract even if he wanted to.
We want to be here. It's been a lot of fun. I want to keep competing. I want to keep sharing some time with them. But time will tell. Obviously, I think Scott and his team have a lot of hard work to do.
Liv Golf need new investment to continue after this season, after the Saudis confirmed they're pulling out.
Chris Wood, he's up against Emi Martinez. The City ground finds Wood fires it in, and Nottingham Forest strike first in the Europa League semi-final.
Can they turn that round? Yes, absolutely they can. They'll need to play significantly better than they did tonight.
It's finished here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 2.
Our best challenge we can have, objective we can achieve, is to play Champions League.
Forest, though, absolutely outstanding, and they'll go into Thursday's Europa League semi-final second leg with a 1-0 winner lead over Villa in really good heart after a 3-1 win here.
Yeah, Villa Forest
lead.
then.
Dangerous lead.
It's dangerous. 1-0. I thought 2-0 was the dangerous lead.
What's
1-0?
1-0 is whoa. Could be anyone's.
it's a war lead.
Could be
It's a
anyone's,
war.
couldn't it? Really.
Did you see that bit in the news where Amelia said, Martin Keown's out for the fun, please? And I just imagine, how much fun is he? Is he reckon he's like,
Martin?
Would he dress as a clown if you asked him to?
I reckon for money you would.
For money?
I reckon for money you would. How much to get?
100 quid?
How much? I wonder how much. Let's have a guess and then ask Martin Keown.
Yeah.
Then I'd say $5,000 to get Martin Keown to dress up as a clown.
To do a whole.
What's he got to do
Jordan.
dressed as the clown?
Just do a whole White and Jordan dressed as Pennywise.
Oh, right. Dressed as Pennywise. Just on a random day.
Yeah, just random day. And no one.
$5,000.
No one can reference.
I'm still on $5,000.
And no one can reference it. And if you reference it, then it's void.
He
None
doesn't
of
get
void
the
has to do
money.
it the next week. He doesn't get the money. Yeah.
Wow. I'm still.
Okay.
I'm sticking with $5,000.
You're sticking with five. Okay, fair enough.
What
fair
do you
enough.
think? You didn't offer up a price.
Oh, I'm just here to ask the questions.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I think you'd do it for 80 quid. 80 quid.
Max Scott's here. Let's talk to Max Scott, for goodness sake.
Yeah, we will. I know he's come to do this bit, and we're banging on about this nonsense. Before we speak to Max, let's hear from Forest boss Vitor Pereira. This was just after the game on Monday, the win over Chelsea, talking about Morgan Gibbs-White's chances of playing in the second leg of the semi-final.
I'm waiting. I'm not a doctor. No, I'm not a doctor. But Gibbs-White has a deep cut. We'll see if he's busy. But he's a fighter. He's a fighter. He has a strong mentality. I hope our medical department can do magic to put him in conditions, because he's important for us. Very important player for us. I said to him, you don't need to use the head. You don't need to heading the balls, just to play. We'll see.
Let's talk to Forest fan, our very own Max Scott. Hey, Max.
Hello, Max.
Hi, Max. How you doing? You well?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thanks
I
for
always
asking.
forget it's a Max festival.
It is. Yeah, what a dream, eh? Me, Max, and Max Bygraves.
Max okay.
Max Whitlock and Max Power. And that's it.
Very good. They're all
anyway, Max, we've got a bit more, a sort of update. He's been speaking to the press about Gibbs-White again today, hasn't he?
Yeah, Vitor Pereira's just been finishing up speaking to the press, and he said that a decision won't be made until tomorrow as to whether Morgan Gibbs-White is available. He confirmed that yesterday he did go and get a mask fitted in case that sort of allows him to feature in the game. But Morgan Gibbs-White isn't the only injury doubt for Forest. You've got Olaraina, Ibrahim Sangare, Murillo, three key players for Forest who are also doubts. But I think if that performance against Chelsea showed anything, it's that this side has got, and I know you can't quantify it and put it on a spreadsheet, but it's got togetherness, it's got fight in abundance, and they've gone 10 unbeaten, and Vitor Pereira's managed to drag out from these players what we all know they're capable of, because on paper it's a really strong side. And so I think that there's a confidence amongst Forest fans, whether or not Morgan Gibbs-White, our absolute talisman, who's carrying the team on his back, that even if he's not available, Forest can still go and reach a European final. Of course, it's going to be difficult. There's no cockiness here, but I'm so excited for the occasion. It's incredibly special.
They seem to score loads of goals, and they seem to, like boxers throwing punches in bunches. They seem to score them quickly with it. Do you think is that a tactic? What are they doing there, Max?
I don't know. It's 14 goals in 4 games. All I know is that when Forest get on a roll under Vitor Pereira, I think that you can just feel the confidence growing and growing. And you've got to give him credit for extracting from this side who are on their 4th manager, who've been under significant pressure from the fans, from the media, because, after a miraculous season last season, it's been so terrible up until Vitor Pereira came in. And I think, to be in a position where we were looking at a return to the Championship, a massive own goal after Nuno's departure and Edu as well. There was a real sour taste in the mouth. And to be looking at the potential of qualifying for the Champions League, staying in the Premier League, it's ridiculous. And I do think that it speaks to the very heart of what Nottingham Forest are. They're an against the odds side, whether it's Brian Clough's miracle men getting promoted from the 2nd division, winning the 1st division, winning back-to-back Champions League, whether it's Steve Cooper taking Forest from the bottom of the Championship to Premier League survival, whether it's Nuno last year or Vitor now. There is something about Forest being this rebel city, Robin Hood, and doing things that nobody expects. So I'm not calling it here, but I don't know if you can tell the juices are well and truly flowing.
Get him in the changing room, I say.
I like the idea, Charlie, of Charlie, football manager tactic, going, if you score a goal, score loads.
Get another
more.
one. No, there's that momentum. You know, you see it. You see it.
I understand. Just get loads more, guys. When you got one, get loads more. It's like before a game, if the keeper's short, they go, keeper's short, I'd have some shots. Keeper's big, I wouldn't bother with shots. I think that Monday game is because I really thought, you know, the way Villa just sort of folded against Tottenham, I thought that really put the pressure on Forest. I thought they'd have to play a strong side. I still think Chelsea away is a hard game, and they'll almost certainly beat Spurs because they always do. But like they're on a terrible run. But that was amazing to make 8 changes and win that. And I know that's a different team that plays on Thursday. But you're right, there is a momentum and a confidence that will come from that result.
Yeah, look, before the game, I was thinking, what on earth? You know, all of Vitor Pereira's messages since he's arrived at the club are that despite going well in the Europa League, Premier League survival is our stated ambition. Mm-hmm. We have to do it. You know, it's vital for the club economically to remain in the Premier League. And so we all expected him to just be like, well, we've got 3 games this week, Monday, Thursday, Sunday, grind it out, trench warfare, you know, do what you can, you know, and we'll try and get the results. Nobody expected 8 changes, and particularly after it felt quite satisfying after Unai Emery made 7 changes and it fell flat on its face. And I think that maybe that it adds a little bit to the occasion tomorrow night, because Vitor Pereira has the entire city behind him. The momentum at Forest is sort of exponential, and you look at Villa, lost the last 3 games, and yes, Unai Emery is a master in the Europa League. Yes, Villa Park is a cauldron. Yes, they've got great players like Morgan
John
Rogers.
McGinn wasn't playing on Sunday.
Well, exactly, right? But despite that, Villa are having to sort of arrest that, and I think Forest go into this the much more confident side, without a shadow of a doubt.
When Pereira got the job, were you like, what was your reaction?
Well, at that point, Max, you know, you're feeling really disenfranchised. You're thinking, crikey Moses, we've gone from almost getting the Champions League to getting the Europa League on an administrative error on Crystal Palace's end to maybe being back in the Championship. And so I felt a little bit like, things needed to change from Sean Dyche, but I felt harsh. I felt it was a harsh decision on him because the win percentage was fine. And at that point, I'm actually thinking, you know, whatever. I just felt we were going to go down at that point, because how on earth can you have 4 managers in a season and stay in the league? But
what does he need to do? And it sounds mad in a season where you might win a European trophy. What does he need to do in the summer so you don't have this sort of struggle again next?
Well, I think there's a huge rebuild at Forest this summer because you've got to Edu's not there anymore. You know, so
likely to lose Elliot Anderson.
If we win the Europa League, I don't think we are. If Forest are in the Champions League next season, I cannot imagine for a moment that Mr. Marinakis is going to say, you can go for 100 million. I think he's going to say, we're in the Champions League.
Elliot Anderson has a really good World Cup, which is likely. I think he becomes...
they'll come calling
every single...
I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised, but I just think that this is a sliding doors moment for Forest, because if you get Champions League qualification and you remain in the Premier League, your bargaining chips, you've got much more of them.
Yeah.
And so I just think that it makes for much more interesting viewing in the summer, because there's a world in which Marinakis says, hold on a minute, we're in the Champions League, I'm reinvesting hundreds of more millions this summer, you don't need to go anywhere. And Elliot Anderson is still got a few years left on his contract, a couple of years left on his contract. So it would be fascinating. It would be fascinating to see what happens.
And look, you see, I have a good example from the team that won the Europa League last year, qualified for the Champions League, and have had a brilliant season this season. Absolutely fine. This text says, is Crikey Moses Chelsea's new manager? Good text. I like that. Thank you, Max. Good stuff,
Thank you, Max.
pal.
Brilliant.
You can hear live commentary of the Europa League semi-final at Villa Park tomorrow night. It is live on talkSPORT. This is Max and Charlie with you until 4, brought to you with Toolstation. Get your toolbox essentials this spring with big savings on screws and fixings next up, Toolstation. We'll speak to Alex Crook next, and we'll do some managerial merry-go-round stuff.
pressing sports story of the day is to Super Ali McCoist in Ask Ali. I've got one of mine just quickly, Coisted, to start things off. Cesc Fabregas is currently manager of Como. They are 5th in Serie A. He's been speaking today saying, of course, he wants to manage in the Premier League.
Yes.
Do you see Cesc Fabregas as the next manager of Chelsea?
Cool. If you're a Chelsea fan, you'd bite your hand off for that. If you're Cesc Fabregas, I think you're weighing up that situation extremely carefully because of what's going on up at the top. I mean, surely he's done a great job there, man. I mean, what a job at Como. Fantastic. And he will. I don't think there's any doubt that he'll manage in the top flight in England sooner rather than later. But is Chelsea right now the perfect job for Cesc Fabregas? As I mentioned earlier, I mean, Chelsea fans would probably be salivating at the prospect of him coming and taking it, and so they should be. But I think there's warning signs at Chelsea. He'll have looked what's happened recently, Jeff, and he can't have failed to have noticed that it might not just be the perfect environment for him to start his career in England.
No.
Is that fair or harsh?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I just look and think, okay, where is he going to get a better opportunity?
Yeah.
Kush Jumbo and Peter Capaldi.
It just so happens that it's all "you're amazing."
Right. Paul White. Sir Lenny Henry.
I was face down and the dog sniffed my crotch. It was very, very embarrassing.
Staying out for the summer.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT here until 4. Let's talk to our chief football correspondent, Alex Crookie. Join us. Hey, Crookie.
Hey, Crookie.
Afternoon.
Afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Now, I wanted to talk to you because Iraola, I thought it was going to be this sort of he was going to go to Athletic Club and that was going to be this, beautifully romantic thing. And so when Terzic took that job, which happened yesterday or has been announced yesterday or this morning, then you go, well, where's Iraola going? Because he's good. And, would Man City, who look like they're going to go for Maresca, think actually Iraola's good? Does that make Liverpool think, okay, because Alonso's there if Slot goes, but maybe he goes there? Does that make Michael Carrick get a bit more nervous?
He's very good, first and foremost. You look at the position that Bournemouth are in the table. If the season was to end tomorrow and Villa were to go on and win the Europa League, then Bournemouth will qualify for the Champions League, which is a heck of a parting gift as far as Iraola is concerned. I wonder if he might be having second thoughts, actually, but it's too late because obviously Bournemouth already Marco Rosa lined up as his successor. That is signed and sealed. In terms of Athletic Club, I think if he wanted the job now, it would be his. So that tells me that he would rather stay in a major European league, rather stay probably in the Premier League. I'm told he loves London, which is why Crystal Palace at one stage were hopeful they might be able to get him as a replacement for Oliver Glasner. But I think they're aware now that he has eyes set on bigger jobs. And I think he's very much part of the conversation at Chelsea. I know there was some suggestions yesterday that Xavi, former Barcelona man, was a contender. That's been played down to me. The three names that I've heard are Xabi Alonso, Marco Silva, if he were to leave Fulham and his contract is up in the summer, and indeed Iraola. So, yeah, certainly watch that space as far as Iraola is concerned. He has been linked with Manchester United as well. I think they're doing their due diligence on Premier League proven managers. But I don't think at this moment in time he's ahead of Michael Carrick in that particular list.
Brookie, I once knew an actor, and every sort of September, he'd break up with his girlfriend because he said, as it was, he was freeing himself up for panto. Is this what managers do you think? They're freeing themselves up to try and get a bigger job, and then whatever comes along in the summer, they sort of have to, stick or twist?
Well, he certainly didn't leave Bournemouth or announce his intention to anyway with anything lined up. Again, a lot of people put two and two together and thought, well, he must have another job. He must be going back to Spain and his beloved athletic club, but that's not happening. Leverkusen was mentioned to me as well. I'm not sure where they're at the moment in terms of a search for a new manager, but I think genuinely he just felt that he'd taken Bournemouth as far as he could. I think he surveyed the landscape and realised there would be some big jobs available this summer that he felt obviously he would be in contention for. I've got to say, I've never known a summer like it. We were talking about it during the Arsenal game last night. You've got Chelsea looking for a new manager. You've got Manchester United with a big decision to make when it comes to Michael Carrick. Do they stick or do they twist? You've got Liverpool, as you mentioned. I think Arne Slot will stay, but obviously a lot of Liverpool fans are really unhappy about that. You've got Eddie Howe's future at Newcastle that's uncertain. And then you've got the Real Madrid situation. I reported over the weekend that Unai Emery of Aston Villa is one of their top targets. There's going to be a lot of upheaval in the managerial market in the next few weeks.
Do you think because Chelsea, Chelsea is a weird club, right? And it is a difficult club to manage, and there's no guarantee of success, and it can, chew you up and spit you out. But if you're, say, Iraola, if you are someone who has a CV like that, who's proved what you can do and has done an incredible job at Bournemouth, could you go to Chelsea as a kind of free hit? Because there's every chance it won't work. But Iraola could go to Chelsea, mess up because Chelsea are, sort of impossible to manage, and then just go, look, it's not me, it's Chelsea.
Point to the club,
does he have what Rossini didn't? Rossini didn't have that, right? Like, it's going to be, he will rebuild, of course he will, but it'll take him time. Whereas Iraola could go there and say, I could be the guy to sort this out, but if I don't, it'll just be like water off a duck's back.
What you're saying there is Chelsea are effectively the Watford of the Premier League, because I know more than one manager who's taken that job at Vicarage Road in recent years, knowing that he's probably going to be fired within 3 to 6 months and not having any reputational damage on his CV. So I think you're right. And you know what? Mickey Gray made a really good point when we were talking on air about Iraola a few weeks ago. A big attraction, I think, and this has been one of the things that Bournemouth has struggled with, is that he only ever wants to sign a one-year rolling contract. He wants to make a decision about his future at the end of every season. If you're a club who go through managers with the regularity of Chelsea, that might actually be quite an attractive proposition.
Yeah, and actually me and Barry were saying on Sunday regards Watford is it's now at a stage where you find out who the Watford manager is when they announce they've sacked them. And that's the time when you go, they were Watford manager, were they? I didn't know that. Presumably it's Quique Sanchez Flores for me next. That would be
I think you make a good point about Iraola there, Max. And it's almost what De Zerbi, I think, has done at Spurs. He's gone and gone, right, I'll give it a go. But look, I'm a really good manager, so it's on you if it goes wrong.
Yeah, and certainly, if they do go down Tottenham and it's looking a bit more positive after results of the weekend, that won't be on De Zerbi. It's funny, just on Watford, we reported a couple of weeks ago that Ed Steele was going to be relieved of his duties at the end of the season. That's happened now. They usually have the next cab off the rank. You get a press release at 1 o'clock saying the manager's gone. You get another press release at 5 past announcing somebody you've probably never heard of who's coming in to replace him. In fact, they haven't done that. I think they're doing a little bit more due diligence this time, and maybe we might see a change at Vicarage Road. I know the fans are sick to the back teeth of this sort of revolving door of usually managers coming in from overseas leagues.
No, but the neutrals, they just want that. They want that, please. So go back to the old ways. Who is going to be the Palace manager then at the start of next season?
That's a fairly closely guarded secret at the moment. Listen, their dream target.
Will you let us out? Tell us.
That's sort of your job.
Their dream target would be Iraola. But as I say, I think they realise that probably isn't a realistic option with all the other jobs that are available this summer. I know Frank Lampard is someone that Steve Parish has always admired, but I think he'd be reluctant to leave Coventry at this moment in time. There's been talk of Kieran McKenna. I know Bournemouth looked at that, and he's on a huge contract at Portman Road, mind-boggling numbers, and there's a big release clause as well. So that's a difficult deal to do. There've been a couple of managers they've looked at in La Liga, but I think one of those actually is going to Villarreal. So Yeah, I'm told they have their sights on someone. I just don't have the identity of that candidate at the moment. Maybe I might find out a bit more this week.
Going to players in the transfer market, a Bournemouth player, actually, Julia Krupi is attracting interest from everybody.
Yeah, and he smashed all kinds of records in terms of most goals by a teenager in his maiden Premier League season. He scored home and away against Arsenal. I think the first teenager to do that since Michael Owen, if I'm not mistaken. And there are a lot of big clubs, including Arsenal themselves, who would love to sign him. I'm told today Bournemouth have no intention of selling this summer. There isn't a release clause in his contract because he came from their sister club, Lorient. So that they value him very highly. And I think it would take an astronomical offer to part company this summer. And actually, if I'm Junior Krupi, it's been a brilliant first season in the Premier League. But do you really want to go to a club like Arsenal and risk being on the bench? Or do you stay another year at the Vitality with a club who probably are going to be in Europe in some form next season and continue your development?
And who buys Igor Thiago? Anyone?
Do you know what? I'd seen a couple of clubs mentioned. I once described him on a podcast as the best, worst striker in the Premier League. His numbers are phenomenal, but amazing. I'm not sure he's not quite got that ability. Has he to go and play for a Champions League club? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't quite see it.
I don't know.
Maybe one for January, isn't it? You know, if he starts the season and scores 15 goals,
we could win the World Cup, couldn't he?
He might be Brazil's number 9. Yeah,
he could be.
Fair play to him. I mean, we're in awards season now, aren't we? And when you're talking about number 9s and teams of the year, I think he's got to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, probably. Thank you, Crookie. Thanks for coming on,
Crookie. Cheers, guys.
You made a good point, Charlie, before the show, which is what did you say about Junior Krupi?
If Junior Krupi has a son, will he be Junior Krupi Junior? That's what I wondered. I wondered if there's a senior Krupi. What's his dad called? Junior? I don't know. You know, we need to know what Junior Krupi's dad's called.
Senior if you were called Senior Baker, would you call your son Junior? Is the question. I mean, his dad might be Senior. Senior Krupi.
Exactly. You never know. I don't know. We need to find out. If only we had something like the internet that could tell us what Junior Krupi's dad was called.
I just in an ad break saw a reel, of one of those, high achieving podcasts saying no jobs will exist in a decade.
Well, good. So, none of us will have to work. Yeah. Who's your favourite junior?
Is that your 2-worder?
Well, I think that's a good 2-worder, don't you? Who's the best junior?
Okay, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Who's 2 words.
I can't think of any.
Harry Connick.
Okay, right. Yeah, okay, fine. Well, let's try it. We'll try it.
In sport, in show business, whoever you like. All you can do is throw it out there. And if it falls flat on its face, that's on me. Yeah. I'll take it.
Okay. Who's the best junior? 2-word phone in 03717 223344. We'll do that just after the news.
So at the moment, Arsenal sit top, 5 clear of Manchester City, who do have a game in hand. And Pep was asked, where does this leave it? In your eyes, where does this leave it all?
It's better the point than don't point, and it would have been better win the game that we needed at the point. So I know it was in our hands, in Arsenal's hands as well before that game. It depends of the goals conceded. Now it's not. So, but for responsibility, you have Brentford, saturate 3 and continue, and we'll see what happens.
So it was 3-1. It ended up 3-3. Next up for Arsenal, West Ham away. Do you, like Thierry Henry, think you better watch that one?
Of course.
You better be careful of that one.
Of course, because this isn't Tottenham rocking up to Aston Villa that couldn't even be bothered. This is West Ham that can be bothered
that will be motivated and will make it as difficult as they possibly can, because despite the fact they got battered by Brentford, there was no way that was a 3-0 game.
Yeah.
They've hit the post twice. They've had a goal disallowed, West Ham. So it was not reflective of their recent performances. So Arsenal are going to have to go and step on West Ham's throat. But I'm with Thierry Henry, because I think that could actually equalise itself out in terms of Arsenal going to West Ham and getting a draw. I don't think they will. I think they've just got about enough, and they'll deal with Burnley and they'll deal with Palace, because they're Palace last game of the season to win the league. They're going to deal with them, right?
Right.
And Burnley, come on, who can't? So with that in mind, the question for me was, what were Manchester City doing? The big question for Pep Guardiola is, what were they doing for 23 minutes in that second half?
It's all on Charlie, so if you like him, 03717 223344. Who's the best junior? That's it. 2-word phone in, 2 words, or never call again. 03717 223344. Who is the best junior? It is 2 o'clock. Let's get the sports headlines with Max Scott.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
Cheers, Max. Good afternoon. A Champions League final and the title race in his hands as Mikel Arteta looks to silence his critics by winning a trophy this season. Simon Jordan says it's fair to call Arteta a nearly man for now.
He's been given all the resources in the world. He's gone pound for pound, pretty much, and matched the expenditure of some of the big clubs that he's trying to rival. He's had 6 years to achieve a side that wins something. So I think, with all due respect, about time already.
Some of the celebrations post-match have been criticised, but Martin Keown's got a message for the fun police.
Already after that match, people were talking about the game. I saw the players. It was very relaxed. No one's going big time. That was for the fans. That was to thank the fans on the night. The atmosphere was incredible. They needed a payback. And there's a better bond now between the fans and the players.
Keown says he'd rather play Bayern in the final. Their second leg against PSG is live on talkSPORT tonight from 7 p.m. Now, Vitor Pereira's confirmed Morgan Gibbs-White has had a mask fitted ahead of Forest's Europa League semi-final clash with Villa tomorrow, but says a decision hasn't been made about whether he'll be available following that horrific clash of heads with Chelsea's Robert Sanchez. Now, FIFA have extended Gianluca Prestiani's ban to apply worldwide, meaning he'll miss Argentina's opening World Cup match if selected. The Benfica winger was banned for racist abuse directed towards Vinicius Jr. in the Champions League. And Bryson DeChambeau says he'll play tournaments that want me and focus on his growing YouTube channel if Live Golf collapses. The future of the Breakaway Tour is uncertain after the Saudi Public Investment Fund announced plans to withdraw funding at the end of the year.
talkSPORT News.
British crew members among 3 people medically evacuated from a virus-hit cruise ship, and Donald Trump's threatened a higher level of bombing against Iran if it doesn't do a deal. Amelia's got more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Spring forwards with Bridgestone Turanza all-season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Showers largely confined to the far west and east of the UK by the afternoon. Chilly with temperatures below average.
What's the best goal, Andy?
Josimar.
Oh, lovely. Just one word needed. Ian is a Man City fan. What's the best year, Ian?
2012, Aguero.
Oh, never call again. Too many words. Don't use your phone again. Michael, throw your SIM card out of your phone. Throw it out the window. Drive over it. Burn your phone. Burn it. Michael, as a Preston fan, what's the best goal?
Poppycock.
What a great phone in.
Phone in.
Here we go then. It's Max Ross and Charlie Baker asking the questions that matter. Who's the best junior? 03717 223344. Mark is a Chelsea fan. Mark, who's the best junior?
Hello, mate. Junior, senior.
Too many words. Too many words. You can't have hello, mate. Hello, mate, junior.
Done. Understand how it works. Tom is a Manchester United fan. Don't make the same mistake, Tom. Who's the best junior?
Juninho,
Pernambucano.
Wow.
Lovely stuff.
Top level.
Steve is that is elite 2-word phoning. Steve is a Forest fan. Who's the best junior?
Sammy Davis.
Sammy Davis Jr. Excellent.
Yeah, excellent
Top level
yeah.
stuff. Yes.
Don't we have music under it?
We normally have music underneath it, but it's fine.
It makes it feel a bit more
Let's
full.
listen to our own thoughts.
Patrick is a Villa fan. Patrick, who's the best junior?
Baked beans, penalties, Elvis Huxley.
Never call again.
Never call again.
How
dare you?
Throw your
Patrick.
phone away.
You're making a mockery of this phone-in.
Don't just call in and say baked beans penalties.
Dan is a Manchester United fan. Who's the best junior, Dan?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Is he a
junior?
Is he a
Yes, he
junior?
was.
Is
He's a junior, wasn't he?
Very good.
When he was pregnant in that film. Very good, Dan.
Very good.
Luke's a Liverpool fan. Who's the best junior?
Indiana Jones.
Oh, yes. Sean Connery, of course, is his dad.
Don't call me junior.
Very good.
Martin's a Spurs fan. Who's the best junior?
Still 1982.
1982.
Don't understand it,
Don't
Charlie.
get out of it.
Marco's
Get
a
the
Hibs fan. Yeah.
Ray Parker Jr.
Ray Parker. Not too many words. It was so good. Who are you going to call?
Who's that? Who's in Coventry? Rob's in Coventry. Rob, who's the best junior?
Walter White.
Walter White
Walter
Jr.
White. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, last one. Yep. Aziz is an Arsenal fan. Hello, Aziz.
Oh, Aziz is an Arsenal fan. Who's the best junior, Aziz?
I have three in my mind, but I'm going to have to go for the biggest.
That's more than 2 words, Aziz.
What do you mean?
Never call again. Get rid of Aziz.
Drive, for goodness not. We don't have a proper
big
chat. For goodness sake.
It's got to say
Absolutely
2 words. It's 2-word phoning.
What an absolute disgrace, Aziz. Never grow up.
Grow up,
Never
Aziz.
call again.
Never ever call again. Block his number.
Never call talkSPORT. Never call any radio station. Never call anyone again. What a good phone in.
The phone in. Use your phone. Ring the phone. It's the telephone. Time for a phone call. Ring, ring, ring. Hyperbole. Intrigue. 2 words. Thoughts. Consideration. It's your time to shine. People saying their thing. Get on with it. You on the radio. Imagine that.
Hey, well done, Charlie.
I mean, it was in and out there, wasn't it? It wasn't many 2-worders, and we had loads on the text as well. Do you want any from the text or Junior Bent?
No,
that was good. Yeah,
no,
sorry.
I do not. Come on, we know how it
It's
works.
2 words.
It's a phone
only.
in. It's a phone in. No text. If you want to talk to us for that, 2 words only. Ring us up and understand the rules, or listen to a completely different radio station.
Exactly.
I don't have time for
somewhere
these
else I go.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I wanted to talk about this. It's actually quite an interesting story, of which I've come up with a stupid text topic off the back of it. So, in women's rugby, they are going to introduce smaller rugby balls, a size 4.5 for this autumn series called the WXV Global Series. England fly half Zoe Harrison says she says the worst decision someone has ever made, which, I mean, there have been some bad decisions made in the world, but she is not happy about it. They held a trial, World Rugby, announced last month the smaller balls will be used in this competition. And she said, look, she hasn't kicked with anything less than a size 5, a normal size 5 that they've used since she was 14. There's not the same surface area for you to wrap your foot around, she says. This article, it's from the BBC, says that men's hands are 10 to 15% bigger than women's hands, and other sports, some sports have made accommodation for female body types, such as lower sprint hurdles in athletics, lighter and smaller basketballs, which I didn't know about. And the aim of the smaller rugby ball is to make the women's equipment proportionate to the men's game, which would hopefully promote accuracy and fewer handling errors and greater reward for running the ball. That's what they say. Critics say it might damage the image of the game and increase costs for grassroots clubs, which is an interesting point that I hadn't considered. They've done lots of trials, and whether it's a good idea or not, I don't know. But it led me, so it's an interesting story, and it's quite serious. And
Should we have a chat about it first? Because I'd like to know, A, how many men are involved in this decision and how many women are involved in this decision. Not all men have big hands that play rugby. You know, the point of rugby is that every single size of person can play it. You know, a scrum half's hands aren't the same size as a second row's hands or a number 8's hands. I think it seems, and I think all women want to do is play sport. They just want to play sport. Stop messing about with women's sport.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with any of that sentiment, apart from I obviously have no idea. So like the same people that made, people, if I was to play devil's advocate, you're not furious about hurdles being slightly smaller or basketballs being lighter, right? And I don't think people in those women's sports are upset about that. So I just don't know. But I would listen to the England fly half over my opinion.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know, what's the smallest thing you've ever used as a ball?
Which is much better. A squash ball. We used to have a kick around with a squash ball at a college I went to in the common room.
Did you ever shout, "Don't let it bounce"? That's
squash ball. I don't know if you want to have a small. I mean, I don't know if you can have a kick around with anything smaller than a squash ball, but.
Oh, you must have played football with a pebble at some point. Honestly, my life was tough. A bit of gravel. That's what we used in CB1. We weren't lucky enough to have a squash ball to play football. We used a bit of gravel. But the smallest thing you've ever seen, that you've ever used as a ball. Sorry.
A couple of texts have just come in that Max can't read.
Really funny. So, the worst decision ever was not a small rugby ball. It was in Hitler invading Poland. It's a funny text message. The Haggy Sack, says Paul in Worcester, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But things that aren't. I mean, surely you've
kick around with a
lots of pieces of paper together. A Coke can
gaffer
or
tape,
lots of pieces of paper with gaffer tape.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah,
rolled up.
There's no better games when you're growing up than those indoor games where you've made the ball yourself.
Yeah. So we could take it to that. What have you used as a ball? I think I've done it before, but it's a good text.
It's always good, isn't it? It's always good.
Ideally small. The smallest thing you have used as a ball. That is the question that I'm asking. At 8:10:89 at Max Rushden. Has anyone done that? No one's done that topic already today, have they?
I don't know if they've done it today.
Right.
I don't know if they've done it. Here we go. I once used a peanut as a miniature rugby ball. That can't be true. This is Paul, AFC Russian Diamonds.
Similar shape.
It is.
Conversions were tricky. I mean, actually, you've got to say a ruck is hard, isn't it?
With a peanut.
A ruck is really hard. It's impossible.
If they're trying to make peanuts the ball for women's rugby, then it is an absolute disgrace. When they think of people with peanut allergies,
idea, isn't it? It's harder for Rob Andrew to get a drop goal.
Yes,
it's over. How do you know it's over? Would you have salted or dry roasted work better? Do you think?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, Northern Hemisphere, I think they'd use salted, and I think Southern Hemisphere.
John in Aylesbury says, I used to do stepovers with marbles back in the day.
Practicing.
God, that's how you become an elite footballer. Is playing with marbles.
How many keepy-ups do you think you could do with a marble, Max?
Not many.
How many keepy-up? Are you a keepy-up merchant or not?
Am I a keepy-up merchant?
Yeah.
I would always,
not
before a game, I'd do 5 and then put the ball back down on the centre.
Would you? Would you let it do it till it dropped, or do the 5 and then?
No, I'd just do 5 and then that's probably my limit now, isn't it? We used to use a Panda pop lid as a ball, says Andy.
No, that's good. Pete in New Toxter as well. Coke bottle top. Bottle tops are a single Rice Krispie, says Cammy. I don't believe you, Cammy. I don't think you've got a single Rice Krispie out and used it as a ball.
This is great. Oliver in Newark says, we used to float the insides of Kinder eggs down the local river with bits of paper inside saying Oxford and Cambridge is a cheap school holiday boat race. There we go. Not a ball, but near enough. Tiny little rowing boats as Kinder eggs. Speaking of Kinder eggs, I once did, I think I've told this many times. I've told it many times before. But
does it involve a peach or a microwave?
No, the Kinder eggs.
Oh, Kinder eggs, okay.
Twice when covering for mid-mornings. And I don't know why I didn't get the job full-time. I did the Champions League rehearsal with Kinder eggs.
Oh, very nice.
So, got the music and did it all.
Yeah.
And once did it with Perry Groves. He was right into it. Once did the same thing with Danny Murphy.
Not having it.
What?
Did
Danny
not want to do it.
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
If I was the good people at Kinder, I would 100% try and sponsor like the World Cup draw or the FA Cup draw.
You think so? And then you put them in there. It's a good idea,
take them out of the Kinder.
I think the people at Kinder have morals and don't want to be anywhere near Infantino.
Wow.
That's what I think.
There we are.
Keepy ups with popcorn, says Dylan, the Norwich fan.
It's quite light though, isn't it, Dylan? So that sounds quite easy.
Cammy says I used a Malteser without chocolate. I'd suck the chocolate off and let it dry.
What, play football with it?
Stop it. And then play 11 aside on Hackney Marshes with a
Can I say we've had more texts on this than anything else all day. Hi guys, I like volleying ladybirds. That's from Brian. That's cruel.
Van Basten.
That's animal. Van Basten at the back post, volleying a ladybird. Poor ladybird.
While at college, I worked in a beefeater restaurant. We played cricket in the kitchen with a frozen breaded mushroom and serving tongs. That is, although,
that is bleak.
Just imagine how much you could swing a frozen breaded mushroom.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's different stuff. You shine one side of that. Oh,
very good.
I
used to blow a balloon up. I used to blow a balloon up to the size of a size 3 football. Layer it in sellotape, about 3 layers. Instant indoor football. Sometimes I'd cover it in sticky labels and write MITRE on it. And that is from, unfortunately, Anonymous. Sad.
Oh, this is good stuff. Anyway, keep these coming in. 8:89 at Max Rushden, at Baker's Tweet. I once used a grain of salt to keep you up, says Hutch the Bolton Mackham. No, you didn't.
You didn't.
Don't be silly. Stop being silly, everyone. It is Max and Charlie with you till 4. Julien Laurent, French football expert, will join us in just a second, and we'll do PSG Bayern preview with him.
Michael Carrick feels very comfortable being the Manchester United manager. He looks as if he wants the job. He doesn't get flustered by the fact that he has to wear that blazer and walk down that touchline. He's a natural fit for it, and he said that yesterday, that it feels quite natural for him. This was him speaking after the game yesterday.
It's been a good run, I think. We've obviously beat some very, very good teams, and it's been challenging. Sometimes we won it in some ways, sometimes we've got to win it in other ways, but. Yeah, listen, I love doing what I'm doing. It's a great position for me to be, and it feels pretty natural. If I'm totally honest, I'm not being blasé, because it's a difficult role, but it feels that I've been here a long time in different times, on and off. But I can understand what it brings, and to be sat in this position is a good position to be.
James, just following on from that, Michael, will you be disappointed now if you don't get this job?
We'll have to wait and see, all we can do, I think, when we came in, I think Champions League, to be honest, was a little bit in a distance, and we wanted to try and get back into Europe. So to be where we are, the one the players have put together with 3 games to spare is a good achievement. I see it as just being a step, though. We're not over celebrating it, but. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I can only do my best for the club and for the players, especially, and try and help them as best as we can, and then see what happens after.
It's the best run that Manchester United have been on since March 2019. Ten Hag did have a 9-game all competitions winning run in late 2022, early 2023, 8 in 10 in the Premier League, but none of them has produced as many as 10 wins in a rolling 14-game Premier League window.
Jumbo and Peter Capaldi!
It just so happens that it's all you're amazing.
Right. Paul White! Sir Lenny Henry!
I was face down and the dog sniffed my crotch. It was very, very embarrassing.
Staying out for the summer.
Here goes Kane, right-footed, and he scores! Of course he scores!
It's just the highest level, you know. We've shown that we win a lot of games. PSG have shown that they win a lot of games and titles. We too.
Elise right through the middle here has rammed it into the net. What a pass to Luis Diaz. Brings it down onto the right foot. This is just ridiculous.
At the end, it's still about making sure you score one more goal than any opponent you play against.
Kvaratskhelia shimmying feet and a low shot is brilliant. Ousmane Dembele trying to make it fine. What a statement performance this is from the European champions. It is set up perfectly for the second leg in Munich.
So yeah, Bayern PSG live tonight on talkSPORT to see who plays Arsenal in the Champions League final. Let's talk to French football expert Julien Laurent. Bonjour, ça va, Julien?
Bonjour. Hello, guys. Very good, and you?
Yeah, oui.
Very good. So look, after a pretty cagey first leg, do you think these sides will go for it tonight?
I think it'd be, again, quite a defensive affair. You know, like exactly what you said, Max, what we saw in the first leg. You know, I don't expect too much. It might be a bit boring. You might fall asleep in front of your TV. But let's hope. You never know in football. You never know.
Yeah.
Well, it's only 1-0. It's only 1-0 is what I keep saying. You know, if it was 1-0, we'd be going into well, it's really tight. But because it's 5-4, it feels like it's a crazy game.
No, you're right. You're right. Actually, it's only 1-0, and I guess Bayern being at home in what should be a really great atmosphere kind of level things up a bit. I'm not sure that PSG right now, you know, qualified obviously, but I don't think that lead is much really. And more seriously, I think we can just expect very similar football than the first leg. Maybe not to the extreme that we saw in the first leg, because this is the second leg, and if you get this one wrong, then there's just no way back. After that, you're just out. Whereas, I guess last week in Paris, they also knew, Company, Luis Enrique, the players, everybody knew there was still a second leg to be played where a lot of things could change. Not tonight. Tonight is either you're in or you're out. You're home or you go to Budapest for the final against Arsenal. So the stakes is certainly higher, which will bring more pressure, and maybe from the coach's point of view, maybe a little bit more cautiousness. Certainly, maybe not at the beginning, but maybe comes the last 20, 25 minutes, maybe you approach it a little bit different than in the first leg.
Somebody was saying, I don't know if this is true or not, but because both these teams play in leagues where they are comfortably the best side in the division, that they don't really have to learn how to defend that much. And then when they come up against someone who's really good at attacking, they're like, oh, this is what we have to do.
Yeah, I guess you could see a bit like that. I think it's more the fact that they're just two very attacking teams anyway. So we've seen both of those teams, not often in the domestic league, but both in Liga and in the Bundesliga. At times, them being under pressure defensively too, because you also have in those leagues some really good teams that can attack you in a different way than PSG would attack Bayern, and the other way around. Obviously, not with one-on-ones everywhere on the pitch, not the same tactical battle, but you still have teams in Ligue 1 who've caused problems to PSG. PSG have lost games in Ligue 1. Bayern have lost, only one game in the Bundesliga, and that was Augsburg, but still, on that day, they were just not good in defensive transitions, for example, and Augsburg took advantage of that. So it's a bit simplistic, I think, to just say, well, they don't have to defend in their league, because that's not true. But to go back to Arteta's point of the other day as well, it's still true that Liga and the Bundesliga are not at the level of the Premier League in terms of intensity. I'm not sure if Luis Enrique or company could do the same with teams in the Premier League, top teams over 38 games, with the League Cup and the FA Cup and no winter breaks as well halfway through the season, because it would take far too much energy for those players.
Who's it a bigger disaster for if they don't win tonight, do you think, Julian?
That's a great question, Charles. I think PSG having won it last season, and we know how difficult it is to win it back-to-back, because the last time was Real Madrid, 16, 17, 18, obviously with Cristiano and Zidane. And before that, we have to go back to 1990, 1991 with Milan and Sacchi, and then that's it. So it just never happens, really, basically. So it's very difficult. I think it'd be very special for this PSG team, which I think is a special team, even if I'm not biased. Very special team to do it. But probably because you won it last year, whereas for Bayern, you've been waiting a little longer, not that long, because they won it with Flick in 2020 against PSG. It's still 6 years is a long time for a top club like that. So probably for Bayern, it would be another disappointment. Remember last season, they lost in the quarters to Inter in a way they should have never lost. They were probably the better team over the two legs. That was disappointing and frustrating. I think losing again tonight at home would be disappointing again.
Which is the better front three?
You can't ask him about Elise,
I guess they're different profiles too. So it depends what rocks your boat, right? What you prefer. Harry Kane is a wonderful number 9, and in some ways is similar to Ousmane Dembele, certainly in the way they drop and everything. But Dembele has, I think, something special too that Kane doesn't have in terms of dribbling with both feet, for example. Kane is more of a quarterback, if you want, when he drops deeper. He's got that vision. Look at the pass for Luis Diaz on the fourth goal for Bayern last week.
And the touch from Diaz. Oh,
yeah.
My God.
And the touch from Diaz. You're right. But I'm not sure Ousmane can hit those. That's not, it's just his game is a little bit different in that kind of false 9 role, really. Then Kvaratskhelia, I think, is an incredible player that keeps you on the edge of your seat a lot. Maybe more than Mikel Olise, who's just a different type of winger, So I will go, as you know, for the PSG one. But I could completely understand if people think the Bayern one is stronger right now and better.
Do you know what I thought when that draw was made? I thought actually the PSG midfield is just immeasurably better than the Bayern one. But maybe I'm just being harsh on Bayern. Or Bayern's is a bit more attritional, right? But when that 3 get it right, and I know Zaire Emery's played a lot because it's Fabian Ruiz is out, I guess. But like that 3, even with Zaire Emery, he's been brilliant. It's just such a joy when they get it right.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, but the start of last season, the first half when PSG was still hadn't clicked and we're still trying to find the right formula. We discussed that midfield and maybe the lack of physicality because, Ruiz is a bit bigger, but Joao Neves and Vitinha certainly are not those kind of modern midfielders who are strong, tall, like a Declan Rice, if you want, or even a Caicedo type. That's not what they do. And yet Luis Enrique found a way with all those rotations to actually be able to boss games from midfield, even with them 3. And if Ruiz is out like he was before, he will start tonight because Zaire Emery is at right back. But even with Warren, who's also a shorter type, like Neves and Vitinha, they still find ways of getting hold of that ball and that midfield and just running the whole game from there because of all that movement, all the rotations, which is credit to Luis Enrique for having made this front 3 that on paper and just like that doesn't look that special and actually are very special.
Where were you? They play like you, Julien, don't they? They play like Julien, low centre of gravity. He bossed a game on Donkey Lane once in an incredible wind. I know I bring it up a lot.
Where will you watch it tonight, Julien? Will you be at home or will you be out in a bar?
No, I'm in Munich.
You're in Munich. You're at the game. Fantastic.
Yeah. You can see me on TV or hear me on the radio, but I'll be there. But you know what? There's part of me that just love being at the stadium. Obviously, we all do, especially when you work or when you're there as a fan. But when I'm at home and I get too stressed, I go and do the dishes. I go and put the washing machine on because I cannot. I cannot watch. So I said to the kids and to my wife, like, I can't bear this. Let me go to the kitchen and I go and I get myself busy. I can't do that tonight. I can go and get pretzels, but that's not really the things that you do in stadiums. So tonight I'll have to watch it from start to finish.
Yeah, good man. Thanks for coming on,
Jules.
Thank you, guys. Have a good show.
Julien Laurent, the French football expert. On the subject of answering the man who said he played football with a Rice Krispie.
Oh, yeah.
Leon Crew says, when it snows, do you bring out the Cocoa Pop? It's the orange ball. It's the orange ball.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, in the snow.
So many wonderful
texts.
That's a good
idea. So many great texts. They got involved.
Harry says, when Ipswich lost to West Ham in the 05 playoff semis, I did 6 keepy-ups with one of my tears, he says. It's a real joy to turn on the radio to hear such in-depth sporting commentary, a real escape from normal life, says Joe in Chichester. We used to put a small X with sellotape on the wall and see who could volley grapes closest to it. The grape was fantastic, as it left a mark but not a stain.
Yes.
We learnt our lesson with red grapes on the first session.
A white grape, a white grape.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, very nice.
Matthew in St. Neots says, I once scored an overhead kick with a frozen pea.
That's how they invented champagne.
Yeah.
And
then it gets a bit silly. Mick says, I played keepy up with an atom. Dr. Beaky says, we played football with a quark at a weird place near the French-Swiss border. Yes. Here we are. Darren Fletcher's at the Large Hadron Collider with Ali McCoy for commentary. Anyway, people enjoyed the ladybird volley. Nigel spat his coffee out. Anyway.
Please do not volley ladybirds. I think we have to say that.
It's something you learn. I would say technically impossible.
What, to volley a ladybird?
Yeah, give it a try. I think it's
you
impossible.
Could volley a ladybird. They're slow.
They're
slow, Max. They're not nipping about the place.
No. But if it's flying about, you're not allowed to kick it off the plant. I'm saying if it's flying about, Absolutely no chance.
Oh, I've got to disagree. I'm not going to test it, but I think you could pick one out of the air. They're not like whizzing around all over the place. A ladybird, they're quite slow.
Easiest to get a hummingbird. They stay still. That's not where we want to go.
Yeah,
Stop it.
They're almost waiting to be volleyed, hummingbirds.
They're asking.
Desperate
they're
for
asking for it.
It's a come and volley me plea.
It's Max and Charlie with you on talkSPORT here until 4. Don't worry, serious business in just a second as we play the Wheel of Football.
It's not my fault that you're fighting relegation.
It's not our fault, you crap.
No,
Don't
don't
blame Spurs.
No, I'm not
Don't
blaming
blame
Spurs. I'm not blaming Spurs, right? But you lot, you bunch of absolute... I can't tell you what. Celebrating people. Ole, ole, Spurs, away, ole, ole. You lot are shameless. Absolutely shameless.
It's just who we are, mate.
I mean...
Good team, Forest.
I mean, well played.
They're a good team.
Do you know what?
They're a good team.
Here's the stats.
Are you coming with stats?
No, I know, but this is actually quite damning.
Now, what's happened to you lot?
Listen,
what's happened?
This is quite damning.
What's happening? Next season, you going down?
Hold on, this is quite damning. All right. Forest, they are joint. We are currently on statistics the worst side last 6 games of the league.
Yeah, bottom.
Forest, I think they're joint top with Leeds.
Good team. They're a good team, mate.
Bournemouth. City, you can write them off as well. That was poor. I don't even put them in.
Big Callum McFarlane doing bits. He's doing bits, mate. You should sort of keep him on. He's doing all right, you know. Doing all right. Doing all right, Big Cal.
Leave Big Cal alone.
Big Mac.
Leave Big Mac alone.
Let's keep Big Mac in there.
Leave Big Mac and chips alone.
You're garbage.
We are garbage.
It seems Mikel Arteta's brought back the old George Graham-style hard-fought 1-0 wins in the big games, and talkSPORT's Darren Bent says it's paying off.
There's no right or wrong answer. I think we've seen now from this Arsenal team, certainly where they are currently as we sit today, that this way is effective and you can win major trophies, hopefully, by playing this way. It doesn't have to be pretty and it doesn't have to be expansive.
Arsenal through to a first Champions League final in 20 years, but does that represent a significant achievement for the squad? Gabby Agbonlahor.
Don't want to be negative, but if you look at their route, deservedly finishing top of the league stage, but their route to the final, they should be in the final. Now the hard work starts, preparing for that.
Who will Arsenal face in Budapest? Bayern Munich at home to PSG is live on talkSPORT tonight from 7 p.m. Expect thrills and spills. Now, if Michael Owen could make one signing to replace Mo Salah, it would be Jared Bowen.
West Ham, adore the man, and rightly so. But if West Ham went down, he would fit for me.
Owen's also told talkSPORT Liverpool have pensioned Andy Robertson off too early. You can catch up with Owen's interview on breakfast on the talkSPORT YouTube channel or app. And John Rahm doesn't see how he could get out of his Live contract even if he wanted to.
We want to be here. It's been a lot of fun. I want to keep competing. I want to keep sharing some time with them. But time will tell. Obviously, I think Scott and his team have a lot of hard work to do.
Live Golf need new investment to continue after this season, after the Saudis confirmed they're pulling out.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Wheel of Football,
Yes.
also known as the punched pockets of football after the wheel was just a lot of hassle to move into the studio.
In my
or not. But
pocket. I've got him in my pocket. Check your pockets.
Anyway, we all know how the Wheel of Football works. We have two contestants. They have to think of 5 footballers. They give us a footballer each. The category is drawn, and then we have a short discussion as to who is better. Ben, the West Brom fan, and Martin, the Arsenal fan, are back after last game was so close. It was a draw, and we're having a replay. Hey, Ben.
Hey, how you going? You okay, guys?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah,
very good. Hello, Martin.
Hello, I've just booted a ladybird over my house.
It wouldn't go over your house.
We had a text from Mikel Arteta saying, Max, them new ladybirds move a lot more than the old ladybirds. Anyway, right. So, important update was we did have Linvoy Primus. The last category was whether Linvoy Primus or Craig Johnson was the better singer.
Yeah.
And we said if they could both send us a voice note singing In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, we would find out. And Linvoy Primus did send us a voice note singing In the Air Tonight. I think we've got it.
Woman for all my life, oh Lord.
Pretty good.
Beautiful
And
voice. What a
at the
beautiful voice.
moment, where we're at with Craig Johnson is I had a long conversation with Mark Bosnich. He has sent a voice note to Craig Johnson asking for a voice note singing In the Air Tonight. As yet, no response. But look, we're working on it.
Pending.
So
Pending.
that's where we're at. It is pending. So let's play the Wheel of Football, and hopefully there's some music. Here we are, lovely. Okay, so we'll start with you, Ben. Give us a footballer.
Can I start with Savo Milosevic, please?
You can start with Savo Milosevic. Martin, who are you going for?
Spurs centre-half, Graham Roberts.
Graham
Roberts
nice.
versus Savo Milosevic. Okay, good battle. That'll be a good battle on the pitch. What's the category, please?
Category is Best Cook.
Best cook. Okay, Ben, what do you think?
Well, I think this is a little bit of a no-brainer for me, just due to the European culture that Savo would bring to the table. He's known for cooking up his famous Bosnian delicacies, which he was well renowned for down at Villa Park in his time there, which covered over his slight struggles in front of goal, but it went down very well pre-match meals-wise.
What is a Bosnian dish? Do we know? Is it sort of potato-based or?
I'm glad you put me on the spot with that one, Charlie. It's very varied, and I don't think we've got enough time to go through it all right now, but it's probably something we can chat about offline.
Sure. Martin, Graham Roberts, much of a cook?
Yeah, well, after leaving football, he trained as a sous chef under Gordon Ramsay. So, I think he'd knock Savo Milosevic
out of the park.
He may have.
That surprised me.
He may have played with Gordon Ramsay. You never know.
What do you think, Charlie? What do you think?
Best cook. I'm not seeing Graham Roberts cooking, and I'm seeing Savo Milosevic cooking. I don't know why.
There we
That's
go.
all I've
1-0
got in my
Savo
head.
Milosevic.
Well, you're the
Okay.
ombudsman, Max.
No,
You're the ombudsman.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Milosevic takes it. Okay, Martin, give us a footballer.
The Colombian centre midfielder Carlos Valderrama.
Carlos Valderrama. Okay, Ben, a footballer, please.
This is going to be a real playoff because I was going to go Alexi Lala.
Oh, it's a hair
wow,
off.
blimey. Okay,
If
Lalas
if
versus
best
Valderrama.
hair comes out, we know it's rigged.
Yeah, absolutely. You've warmed up the punch pocket. What's the category?
It is best dog sitter.
Best dog sitter.
Dog sitter.
Martin.
Well, Carlos actually looks like a poodle, so I think he'd get on very well with a lot of dogs.
Good point.
True.
Ben?
It's a very good point.
I've got to admit that really stole the hair advantage, to be honest with Carlos. So I'm going to have to give that one to Martin. To be honest.
Okay, there we go.
It's a
very, very generous of you. It's
Generous
wonderful to see
gentleman's
that
game,
kind of
isn't it?
sportsmanship in this game. So one apiece then.
One each.
One apiece. Ben, give us a footballer.
Can I go for Ili Dumitrescu, please?
Ili Dumitrescu, certainly, yeah. And Martin?
I'll go a bit left field for this, and from the Harry Enfield programme, Charlie Charles.
Oh, okay. Not even a real footballer.
Not sure that's allowed,
Sure
but
counts,
that's what
but
you've
we'll
gone
see.
for. Ili Dumitrescu versus Charlie Charles. All right.
Biggest tipper.
Biggest tipper.
Biggest tipper in a restaurant or wherever you are, in a taxi, wherever you are.
Martin?
Well, Charlie Charles, one of the famous Charles brothers, earned a fortune, so he was always tipping people a guinea.
Not actually real, though, is he? Not actually real is my problem here. But there we are.
But I understand what he's saying. What about Dumitrescu?
Well, it's just part of the Romanian culture to be heavy tippers. In fact, I was led to believe that they were heavily behind enforcing a 40% surcharge on for that type of thing. So yeah, it's something they're quite strong on. So I feel I'm a bit
convinced.
there.
I'm convinced.
Did he spit? You're convinced that Dumitrescu takes it? Okay, 2-1. Ben, give us a footballer. 2-1 up. This for the win.
Yeah, no, this is a tricky one because Martin played a rogue one there, and I did have one in my back pocket. I was going to play Youssef Cheapo, but also see if I could Hadji it alongside him as they do. They are a notorious.
You've got to choose one. You've got to choose one.
You've got to choose one, I'm afraid.
I'll go Cheapo. Most understated out of the two, yeah.
Yeah, Youssef Cheapo. Martin?
I'll go for the Brazilian centre midfielder, Socrates.
Hey, Socrates.
Okay, Youssef Cheapo versus Socrates.
And here it is.
It's a game people have wanted to see for a long time.
Would give you the best relationship advice.
I'm so glad you said relationship advice. I was terrified where that was going, Charlie.
Would give you the best relationship advice. Who would it be?
Well, Socrates was a heavy drinker, a smoker. He was also a doctor and a very intellectual man. So I think he would give the great advice.
Lived a bit of life, yeah, maybe.
He lived a life. And he's up against Youssef Cheapo. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, again, I feel like I'm at a little bit of advantage here because Youssef Cheapo is married, even if in only namesake, with Mustafa Hadji in any conversation. So in terms of a relationship, there almost hasn't been a closer bond than those two. So, yeah, he'd be right at the front relationship advice-wise.
Just for a note, Socrates married 4 times and divorced 3 times. So
would he be able to give you...
He's got experience, hasn't he?
Experience?
Do we give it... Does that mean we give it Socrates or we give it Cheapo?
I don't know. Who would give you the best...
What makes it 2-2?
Do we know about Chippo's relationships? Do we know?
He's got a smaller Wikipedia as it goes.
Okay, so no personal life.
It's 2-2. It's 2-2.
It comes to the decider.
Okay, it's the decider. Okay, Martin, give us a player.
Ian Culverhouse.
Oh,
Ian Culverhouse. Sure. Lovely stuff. And Ben?
I'm going to play it clean, so I think that was just a little bit of a dirty move there by Martin in the sportsman's game. I'm going to play Earl Barrett.
Earl Barrett versus Ian Culverhouse. Okay.
Here it comes.
What's the subject?
Most likely to give you a lift to the airport.
Oh, we've had it before. The classic John Bumstead taxi driver.
Good one.
Okay, Culverhouse or Barrett? Ben, quickly.
Well, Earl was a known lift giver, that's all I'll say. Very friendly, gave many a teammate. In fact, Dean Saunders, if he was on the station now, would vouch for that because he often gave Dean a lift into the training ground during their time there. So
Martin?
I mean, Culverhouse is notorious for giving people lifts to Norwich Airport or to Luton, famous for it.
Luton Airport Parkway.
Airport. Up to you, Max.
I'll give it Earl Barrett.
Earl Barrett
well
takes
played,
it.
both of you.
Well done.
Thank you, Ben.
Good.
Thank you,
very
Martin.
good.
Good
Very
game.
Ben.
I'm
Very
enjoying
good.
the game. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I've taken the airport one out. It's gone. If it's used twice, it's gone.
Fair enough. I'll keep you posted on the Craig Johnson WhatsApp voice note. And thank you to Ben and Martin. Two excellent players there.
Excellent
and
game.
we learnt about the marriages of Socrates. And Jacob Hawley, Arsenal fan, comedian, will join us in just a second.
And what about Victor Gyökeres? Do we need to give him a handshake and say, well done? The last Arsenal player to score 20-plus goals in their debut season was Alexis Sanchez, 2014-15. Wow. Only Erling Haaland and Igor Thiago have scored more goals than Gyökeres this season.
Yeah, I guess if you're still being ultra critical, you would say, is that a word? Hypercritical, you would say ultra critical. There you go. You would say that he still gets his goals against the Leicester Lights in the Premier League. Can you bank on him to score in the big games? Could you bank on him against Atletico in midweek? Probably not. So, yeah, I think 20 goals comes with a little bit of a caveat just in terms of the class of opponent he tends to score against.
It does, but I think you also have to remember 20 goals is still 20 goals in the Premier League. If you're scoring 20 goals in the Premier League, you're doing a good job. Even though they've come against Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Burnley, Everton, Leeds, Sunderland, Tottenham, Everton, Bournemouth, and Fulham. Does that dim the achievement then?
So Bournemouth and Fulham, the only top half teams that he scored against, is that right?
Mm.
Yeah, I think it does dim the achievement because they didn't pay the money for Victor Gyökeres to score against Leeds, with the greatest respect in the world.
Well, interesting. I think he's done a pretty good job, to be honest with you. West Ham away.
Him or Šeško? Because obviously that was the balancing act between a lot of clubs in the summer.
Told you that from the beginning, Šeško. Yeah. All day. Leaner, faster, quicker, sharper in front of goal. Got something. I think Gyökeres is a good player, but Šeško's a lot younger. There's a higher ceiling for him to develop into. I think you're buying Gyökeres. There's not really many more gears he can go up.
Jumbo and Peter Capaldi!
It just so happens that it's all you're amazing.
Right. Paul White! Sir Lenny Henry!
I was face down and the dog sniffed my crotch. It was very, very embarrassing.
Staying out for the summer.
Good afternoon, it's Max and Charlie with you till 4. I don't know if you know, but Arsenal in the Champions League final.
Yes.
For the first time in 20 years. Let's hear from Mikel
Congratulations,
Arteta. And he said he was proud of his players.
Yeah, it's an incredible night. We made history again together, and I cannot be happier, prouder for everybody that is involved in this football club. The manner that we got received outside the stadium already was special and unique. The atmosphere that our supporters created, the energy, the way they lifted every ball with us, it made it special and unique. I never felt that in the stadium. And we knew how much it meant to everybody. We put everything. The boys did an incredible job. And after 20 years and for the second time in our history, we are back in the Champions League final.
Let's talk to comedian and Arsenal fan Jacob Hawley. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Jacob.
Afternoon, gentlemen. Great show so far.
Oh, thank you. So far.
That's very kind of
You're
you
on it now.
to say so. It's more fun, Jacob, to get you on when you've just lost at home to Bournemouth and you're panicking. But you were there. It's only right to get you on where now you're like, hang on, what a 2 days. This has been an amazing 2 days for you, hasn't it?
Oh, do you know what? It's a weird one because like we're top of the league with a little gap now. We're on our way to Budapest for the Champions League final. I think many Arsenal fans would agree that despite the fact we've got 41 wins this season, which I think is the most in our history, it's not been a great time. I think many of us haven't really had much fun. I dare say the lads at talkSPORT have had something to do with that. The very effective headlines and clickbaity stuff we've had on Twitter all season. But I think all of us are enjoying this as much as we can and as much as we want to at the moment, and we certainly won't be told not to.
Yeah, this is as good as it's been. This is as good as it's been for 20 years. And yet every Arsenal fan I speak to goes, "Oh, I'm not enjoying it. It's just too much, if I'm honest."
Yeah, it is. I mean, the thing is, it's a weird one because if this was our first time going for the Premier League or the Champions League, whatever, I mean, as it was in 22-23 when we sort of unexpectedly went for the title, that year was just a fairy tale. And at the end of it, it's like, well, we didn't get it, but it was amazing. We never expected this to happen. We're in a very singular position where, like, if it goes great, it's amazing. But if you just slightly miss out, you've got one of the worst things possible, which is second 4 times in a row. The whole summer you're a joke. Maybe you have to sack the manager. It's just unreal how like you either win it and you've got the best ever, or you've got the opposite and you don't win it and then you're a joke. You're a joke. Despite the fact you've beaten most teams in the league, you're a joke for a summer.
It's a stupid game, isn't it? The atmosphere looked brilliant. I mean, from outside the stadium, in the stadium, like they weren't nerves. Even when it was just 1-0, I just thought everything seemed to be fine yesterday. It looked great.
Yeah, it felt unbelievable. I mean, it is just a thing of like Saturday at Leeds. Saturday against Fulham was unbelievable. That was the atmosphere Saturday. 3-0 up at half time. It's the first time in a long time where I haven't seen people rushing onto the concourse to get a beer. Everyone stayed there at a half-time whistle to cheer the team off. Obviously, what happened Monday night, David Moyes, who listen, if Arteta doesn't get a statue, maybe Moyesy does. That lifted the spirits, and so now it's like all the pain and pressure and anxiety of the season. It's just bursting into just pure joy, and everyone feels amazing. I mean, the tough thing now is because it's been 20 years since the last Champions League final. You've got that fear in your head it could be 20 years until it happens again. The phrase, we could be old men by the time this happens again, has gone around many WhatsApp group of mine this morning. And so now we're all working out how to get to Budapest. I'm looking at prices. I'm looking at travel, accommodation and tickets. And I'll be honest with you, I'm working out what I can sell. Like, I'm honestly, because the problem is the missus, she can't hear me. She wouldn't be happy. We're getting married this summer. She wouldn't be happy if I dropped $2,000 going to Budapest to probably watch Harry Kane beat us with a penalty. Yeah. So I have to do this in a way where she won't know. I am wondering if I could sort of pull off a kind of pretend I've gone a bit eco and green and convince her that's why I've sold the car. Do you know what I mean? Similarly for the wedding, the band can go. I don't actually like the band anymore. The band we had booked. I'm
get that Arsenal bloke that Arsenal bloke to come and sing North London Forever. That's all you need. Just him and a guitar.
Yeah. Well, he seems to only have that song, Charlie, and I don't...
Yeah, what's his follow-up single actually, Jacob? Do you know?
I'm hoping he might do one. I wonder if he might have a sort of Champions League themed, the second single is Budapest themed. Maybe that's Lewis Dunkford's next hit. Who knows?
Gabriel, Rice or Saka, who has to have the best final for you to win?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or who's most important to you in that final?
Do you know what? I'm going to say Saka, because I think another thing about the kind of how miserable this best season we've ever had has been is that there's been a lot of games where the attack hasn't looked too good, and you you go, well, is Gyökeres the wrong one? Do we need Havertz? Is it should we be inverting the fullbacks or playing them wide? And then you realise it's pretty simple. It's if Saka's on the pitch, we're good, and if he's not, we're not.
Yeah.
And I think. Him getting the goal yesterday, seeing a kid from the academy, on his knees having just scored, it's nothing's better than that.
Yeah,
and actually, for Man City fans listening, it does mean more when we do it, and it's our men is the kindest way I can put it, who play for your club, and I think it does mean more when it's an academy kid. So I think it has to be Saka. It has to be the boy from the academy who's literally dragged us here, lost his Achilles doing it, took us from an 8th place team to where we are in a Champions League final now. To watch him lift that, it doesn't get any better, does it?
That is what every club wants, isn't it? One of their own scoring the winner.
Yeah. And Lewis Skelly as well in midfield. I mean, that was a real brave selection from Arteta, and it really worked.
It really worked. And listen, he's one who 2 weeks ago there was rumours he was going to leave Arsenal. Now I'm putting him up for a World Cup place. Why not? Let him go.
I mean, he plays well with Rice, doesn't he? So
yeah. And I mean, Rice, it's harsh not to say Rice, because I think that's maybe the only £100 million transfer that's ever been worth the money. That's it. It's like,
good point. Really good point.
You see that on Sky Sports sometimes, don't you? They sort of list off the most expensive transfers ever, and you go, that went wrong, that was awful, that was a mistake. He's the only one where it feels worth the money. And again, I mean, the West Ham fans, what they might go through this week. Imagine if he scores the free kick on Sunday that basically
please beat West
them.
Ham. From a Spurs point of view, don't do that, Jacob. Just beat West Ham, please. And then lose to Burnley. And then lose to Burnley, please. That would be the dream.
Yeah. Michael Jackson decides to ruin our season.
Exactly.
No, honestly, it feels really good. And to any Arsenal fans, listen, I just want to say, don't let anyone dampen it today. Don't let Gabby Agbonlahor tell you you're celebrating too much. Don't let anyone ruin your joy. We've been miserable for an awful long time, and this is time to enjoy it now.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Jacob.
Cheers, Jacob.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Jacob Hawley there, comedian, Arsenal fan. And you can catch up on all the action that happened last night when Arsenal reached the Champions League final for the first time in 20 years on the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast. Former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark and Angelina Kelly available on all podcast platforms now. It's Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Get your home spring ready with great deals on top paint brands like Dulux, Crown and Leyland. Next stop, Toolstation.
Some news coming in for you. Coisty. talkSPORT understands Unai Emery is high on Real Madrid's shortlist to become their new manager. He's under contract at Villa Park since the summer of 2029. Sources in Spain believe he could be tempted by a new challenge due to Villa's financial restrictions. You know what? I was just looking back through the internet on this, and he was linked with the Real Madrid job in March, and he was linked with it again in April. So it's no surprise, really, he's been linked with it again in May. I mean, look, it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world, would it?
No, not at all. I mean, I'll be honest with you, don't want him to go. Love him, like everything about him. I think the Villa fans would be sorely, they'd be bordering on devastation at Villa Park if they lost him. But you know something? There's the naughty part of me would love to see him handle Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. and those boys. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be really, really interesting. And there's no surprise because he is top class. Listen, he was disappointed with the level of performance his team put in yesterday. But why would he not come into their thinking to be their next manager? Because he certainly has proven it at just about every level. Arsenal aside, he has been absolutely fantastic. But Jeff, I want him to stay.
I mean, I just wonder whether that experience at Arsenal will make him fit.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT with you until 4. Adam Leventhal from The Athletic has a new documentary out called The World Cup and War. And of course, we might all be looking forward to the World Cup, but there is a lot of politics behind this, and we can talk about that with Adam in just a second. Before that, Max has the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
Thanks, Max. Good afternoon. Arsenal might get their fair share of criticism, but Danny Murphy can't praise Mikel Arteta enough for getting them to the Champions League final.
I know there's a little bit of chat about, they had the easy side of the draw, blah, blah, blah. They're undefeated in the Champions League. That is some going.
Yeah.
And I've said on this programme many times, they're the best defensive team in Europe, if not the world. And he's created that mentality.
Arsenal invincible Martin Keown will be watching the other semi-final keenly tonight and cheering on Bayern Munich.
They've already played each other. It was a 3-1 victory, and somehow I think Arsenal might have a better chance. The PSG are just remarkable in the way that they play.
Mikel Arteta's defence might be the thing that got them to the final, but it won't be for either Bayern or PSG, according to our European football expert Kev Hatchard.
I think even if we don't get that scale of goals, I think the scale of chances we'll get, because Gab's right, Bayern have to push. Bayern only know one way to play, which is to go full risk.
You can listen to that one live on talkSPORT tonight. Now ahead of the All-English Europa League semi-final tomorrow between Villa and Forest, Vitor Pereira admits there are lots of injury doubts, most notably Morgan Gibbs-White. After that horrific head injury against Chelsea, he's had a mask fitted, but a decision will be made tomorrow on whether he'll play. That one's live on talkSPORT tomorrow night. And Gianluca Prestiani will miss Argentina's first 2 games if he's selected for this summer's World Cup. FIFA's accepted a request to extend the Benfica's player ban worldwide for abusing Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr. in a Champions League match in February. He admitted using homophobic language toward his opponent. An allegation of racial abuse was not proven.
talkSPORT News.
A Brit evacuated from a virus-hit cruise ship is in a stable condition, and Donald Trump says the Iran war could end if Tehran agrees to a deal. Amelia's back in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. The tyre transfer window is hotting up, and we've signed a multi-generational talent with Continental Tyres. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Showers largely confined to the far west and east of the UK by the afternoon. Chilly with temperatures below average.
Good afternoon. You are listening to talkSPORT. Max Rush and Charlie Baker with you until 4. Let's talk to the athletics journalist Adam Leventhal. Adam, how are you?
Hello, Adam.
I'm very well. How are you, gents?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming on. You've got a new documentary out called The World Cup and War, and I think this is really interesting. And I don't know if you feel this. I feel like in Russia 2018, we didn't talk about the politics at all. I felt that as a journalist, and we didn't really cover anything off the pitch very well. I think there was a big reaction in Qatar, and I think a lot of people did really good work on talking about those sort of things. And now we're in the United States and Mexico and Canada, but specifically the States, and there's a real dilemma of how much we should talk about the politics and how much that will impact this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that on the whole, what a lot of people will say is when the football starts, all the preamble, and we saw that in Qatar, we may well see that in the United States, Canada and Mexico as well. All the preamble sort of disappears and we forget about it. But I think that this situation, in particular with the US and Iran, and obviously the wider issues that we've got in the Middle East, which is also impacting people all around the world as well, is going to be difficult to ignore. And also when we know that we're in a different time where the president of the United States, Donald Trump, is consistently giving us commentary on social media about every twist and turn, it means it's very, very difficult to ignore. And he will most probably want to be front and center when the tournament is ongoing as well.
Yeah, and actually difficult to cover. I mean, I don't know how you sort of go about putting this documentary together because it changes so quickly.
Yeah, it was one that we were, I was working on for quite some time. And it's something that I was aware of potentially being an issue, actually covering another documentary, which was about Saudi Arabia and soccer last year. I was out in the States, in Las Vegas, when there were the initial attacks by the US supporting Israel on Iran nuclear sites. And I thought, right, okay, this is starting to escalate. And it's certainly going to be an issue when Iran qualify for the World Cup, whatever happens from now. And as we chart in this documentary, we obviously know that it escalated at the end of February with full-blown attacks by the United States on Iran. We're currently in a ceasefire of sorts, but there's obviously the blockades in the Strait of Hormuz and a lot of complications attached to that. But once that was announced, we then saw the positions of both sides coming to the fore, and then FIFA stuck in the middle because, albeit football doesn't really matter when there are wars going on, but this is something that's been grasped by both sides as a political football and has the potential to be used, in particular with Iran and how they turn up at the tournament and what they do around the anthems and things like that. They are ultimately a mechanism of the state, and that's an opportunity for them and their players, as we saw with the female team who were out in Oz, being used as a political tool as well. So it adds extra layers of complication to it.
And then you have the complication that Gianni Infantino has aligned himself, just basically stuck himself, how politely do I phrase this, very close to Donald Trump, in such a way that he can't extricate himself from that relationship. I don't know if he wants to either, actually.
No, I think the phrase that's used in the documentary is that they're working hand in glove. They're obviously very, very close. I mean, you referenced the situation back in 2018 at the Russia World Cup. That's what Gianni Infantino does. And I think, if you take a step away from it, you think, well, if you're going to be taking a tournament to a nation, you need to be close to the leaders of that nation. So there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. People do have difficulty sometimes where the tournaments are being taken, and therefore the relationships that Gianni Infantino is fostering, people have issues with, and I think that a lot of that is fair comment. In terms of how he's negotiated this situation with Iran, he's dug his heels in pretty firm. There was talk that potentially Iran could have a route curated for them and they could play their games in Canada or Mexico, but he basically said no, there's no plan B, C or D, it's plan A. We go ahead and they're going to be playing, and then he doubled down on that at the Congress. But we've already seen those signs, as I mentioned, with Iran when they played their friendly games, holding up school bags in memory of children that have died, pictures of people that have died as well, and also an Iranian Football Federation representative not being able to get access to the FIFA Congress, which took place in Vancouver last week. So we're having signs that however much Gianni Infantino wants to sort of keep calm and carry on, to coin quite a British phrase, it's not necessarily going to be as simple as that, especially when, as you started with, this situation is so unpredictable at the moment.
Has there been any advice from the PFA at all, Adam?
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the guys that we spoke to in the documentary, and he was talking about one of the other two countries that we cover. We also cover the wider Middle East as well. There are other countries that are going to the tournament from the wider Middle East. We also cover Haiti, but Democratic Republic of Congo. And the PFA CEO is Maheta Molango, who you may well have had on the show before. He's a good guy, very sort of switched on, a sports lawyer and things like that. But he's basically been saying, look, unless you give players a seat at the table and having the ability to decide where these tournaments are taking place, please don't ambush them and expect them to be able to give, perfect geopolitical analysis on all these situations in press conferences, when essentially all they want to say is, we're going to go out there and give it our best. I think sometimes we as journalists, we also need to remember that. But unfortunately, the situation that the players are being put in is that they are being taken into situations where it will mean something to a lot of them. A lot of those players that are going to the tournament, as we illustrate in the documentary, they're going there representing nations who are suffering back at home for one reason or another. And they want to speak about that pride, and they want to sometimes, speak for them and speak out against other things as well. So the advice is from the PFA, not that they represent all the teams in the world, but the English players. They say stick to the football and leave the politics to the people that lead, and that means wanting people like Gianni Infantino to really negotiate this situation as sensitively as possible, and that is going to be a challenge in itself.
Here's the first text, Adam. It says, can Lefty Max keep politics out of football, the fun sponge? Which, is not an uncommon message about pretty much any part of any show I do, Adam. But it is interesting that there is football is an escape for people, right? That's sport is that. And I think it's insane to say, keep sport and politics apart, because, history has taught us that they are just so inextricably linked. But trying to find the balance, right? You want to make a documentary that's interesting, but that lots of people listen to. Sometimes when you try to talk about subjects like this, people just want to switch off because they don't, you work hard all week. You want to go to the football without thinking, I don't want to think about who owns my club, or, what nefarious activity X has had, or, this player who's accused of this particular crime or whatever. And that is a difficult balance to strike.
And also the head of FIFA has given someone who's begun a war a peace prize.
Yes.
Yeah, look, it's inescapable that politics and sport are linked. We've seen it, in the documentary, we go back all the way, back to prior to the Second World War, talking about the Falklands around the 1982 World Cup, and then meeting Argentina in 1986, and other meetings that there have been between teams when it has been inextricably linked to a political backdrop. But I also understand, and there'll be many people listening that go, "Oh, come on, get another comedian on. Let's not talk about the war." I get it. I completely get it. But when you are trying to say at one degree, FIFA is saying football unites the world. Well, it does only need uniting if there is nothing going on that is separating it. So I think that it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable that we have to talk about these things. But I do also think that it's the nature of the beast, as I said right at the beginning, that when the football starts, that is what people focus on. But I just wonder what it's going to be like this time around if there are still these current situations going on, and also that within the United States in particular. And let's not forget, yes, the tournament is taking place in 3 countries, Canada and Mexico as well. But there are issues going on in the United States, which a lot of people feel uncomfortable about, particularly in relation to the rhetoric and the actions of the US government in relation to immigration. So it's also an opportunity for people in the States to also protest and do things like that. So when you're seeing the razzmatazz and the pomp and circumstance of all these big tournaments coming, and then you're seeing people oppressed in a nation, it doesn't hang right for a lot of people. And that's where that juxtaposition also then raises it up again. So I know people will want to focus on the football, and a lot of people will enjoy the tournament, but it is also important for us to realise, as we've seen with other recent tournaments, that, football can be used as a political tool as well to, sports washing. We've talked about that in the past and things like that. And at the moment, it's, I suppose, legitimising Donald Trump and some of his actions, which people are uncomfortable with, seeing him celebrating and surrounded by a football tournament when there are some really, really serious and grave situations going on in the world.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, Adam. And I will listen to it and I will look forward to it. Thanks for coming on,
Thanks,
pal.
Adam. No worries. Take care, guys.
Adam Leventhaler. So that's called The World Cup and War from The Athletic, wherever you get your podcasts. Daniel says, bore off, Max. You brought up politics, now you're moaning about it. Look, I think it's really easy to say bore off if you're not currently being oppressed, I would say, or your country isn't being bombed, or, you are, you're not on the end of ice going around the streets. It's, I think those are, if you are a concern for humanity, then you have a concern for humanity. I don't know. I'm probably not going to change anyone's minds on all these things, Charlie. But it's good to have that conversation.
Ben says, is it left wing to critique a country for invading other countries and starting multiple wars? Of course. So there is great chat, balance. Max, says James.
Thanks. Okay.
Also, which war? There's a war in Haiti at the moment. There's the war in Ukraine is still going on.
Yeah. Accident of birth. You could be in one.
Exactly.
It's an accident of birth, wherever you happen to be. It is Max and Charlie with you until 4 in partnership with Tool Station. Check out their
we do that, and we also do volleying ladybirds.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Everything on this show. Well, this is brought to you with Tool Station. Check out their wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Tool Station. We'll do some West Ham in just a second.
I promise I won't swear.
Calm down.
Right, listen, we need to get them. It's not right. It's not fair. We're getting out off here.
Well,
I just wanted to speak to you. Get that violin out. You can get that violin out all you want, right? Listen, we did not deserve that. Oi, who get that violin off there? Oi, I love you two. I absolutely adore you two. I listen to you all the time. I've never called up before because I'm always busy. I used to be a milkman. I used to listen to you all the time when I was a milkman. I used to always shout out to the milkman, but I was too busy to even do it. Oi, listen, we did not deserve that at all.
Well, you're 3-1 up, Dave, right? You're 3-1 up. And within 12 seconds of kickoff, it was 3-2.
Michael Oliver didn't score.
Listen, will you tell Goldstein that I want a money match at snooker with him, please?
No, we're not telling him that.
Tell Goldstein I want to beat him at snooker.
No, phone Drive. You want to speak to Goldstein, phone Drive, right?
Yeah, he's got the wrong show, mate.
No.
You can't phone up, blowing smoke up our backsides and then say you want to... Right, listen.
Listen, I love you, Cuddy. I love you.
Davo.
I love your hair transplant. I want one myself.
Davo.
I need an hair transplant
right,
myself.
Listen, leave it, Davo.
I've seen yours and I want one myself.
Leave your details. I'll get you a candy deal.
Listen, I'm going to be famous one day, yeah?
Right.
Yeah, I'm a mix between Peter Kay and Roy Chubby Brown, yeah?
Right.
I'm better than both of them, yeah?
Jumbo and Peter Capaldi.
It just so happens that it's all you're amazing.
Right. Paul White. Sir Lenny Henry.
I was face down and the dog sniffed my crotch. It was very, very embarrassing.
Staying out for the summer.
Hello, this is talkSPORT, so the world's biggest sports radio station. Max Rushden and Charlie Baker with you until 4. I wanted to do some West Ham, Charlie, because so much of the relegation chat has been about Tottenham, and I've done that a lot, and it is a fascinating story of them this season. But West Ham are also there, and are now in an even worse position than Tottenham. If that is possible, and a friend of the show, Will Pugh from The Sun, and is a West Ham fan and joins us now. Hey, Will.
Max, how's it going? We've been here before, haven't we?
We have been here before.
I didn't hear from you last week when it looked like we might stay up. Now we lose, Tottenham win, and all of a sudden I'll get Will Pugh on. Whenever we're in dire straits, I hear from you.
I'm sorry about that. It is just more fun to talk to people when they're having a crisis, I think. How are you feeling? Like this is there were so many games where it's like it's a must-win game, but this weekend looks tough now, doesn't it? You've got Arsenal at home, and then Tottenham have Leeds at home on Monday night. So how are you feeling?
I mean, the pain and heartache of last weekend in particular also could contribute to this being one of the greatest victories in West Ham United Football Club's history by stopping Arsenal winning the league and sending Tottenham down. So that's sort of all I'm holding on to at the moment. The probability and the odds would suggest that that's not going to happen. But
if it was the FA Cup, then you would think that sort of magic could happen. But this is the league.
Yeah, the league for us this season is anything but magical, if I'm honest. No, I think after last weekend, obviously we were really unfortunate at Brentford. We hit the post like 3 times, I think it was. A couple of decisions went our way. They score their 3rd goal when we're chasing the game, so it's it flatters them a little bit. I do think we're unfortunate, but I think psychologically for us, plus the way Unai Emery just decided to roll over and have his tummy tickled by Tottenham at Villa Park, will have given them a boost. And I just think a bit of a momentum shift. Arsenal were absolutely phenomenal last night, weren't they? And I don't really fancy us getting too much against them at the weekend, but it would be the 3rd season running we've stopped them from winning the title, so there's always that to hope on to. Good things come in 3s and all that.
Yeah, there was that. Djourou, I think, has been really good for you. Certainly, like his delivery is great, but when he fouled Ouattara, you could just see every player. Players are always looking around for try and say that isn't a penalty, and they all just went, "Oh no."
Yeah. I think my dad, who doesn't think anything's a penalty ever, was the only man in the world who thought that shouldn't have been a pen. But you did the same thing, Max, that Diouf does. Diouf is the left back equivalent of a goalkeeper that everyone goes, "Oh, he's very good with his feet." What's he like with his hands, though? Oh no, he can't catch, but he's very good with his feet. Diouf, everyone talks about his delivery and his crosses. him, ask him to actually defend, and he is absolutely woeful. We've had Aaron Cresswell and Emerson, two of the greatest left backs in the club's sort of modern history, preceded him, and he comes along because he puts in a half decent cross every now and then. People just forgive him all sins, i.e., actually defending.
How well are you set up if you do go down to come straight back up? Will it be a rebuild job, or do you think players will stick around?
No, it will certainly be a rebuild job. I think we're set up quite terribly. I think all the finances that have come out, because we've recruited so terribly since David Moyes left, pumped lots of money into squads and into players that managers wanted who are no longer there and who did an awful job at the club. The latest financial figures didn't make for good reading, even if West Ham stay in the league. I think fans who are across those sort of things are expecting sales anyway, so next season's hardly going to be glittering. Obviously, a bit of change at board level at the moment. There's a potential that sort of would carry on next season, particularly if the club go down. But yes, it's quite bleak times. But there's still hope at the moment that we can hold on. I think lots of West Ham fans, certainly earlier in the season, like hope really sort of just faded and died at one stage, and the fact that Nuno's come in and re-galvanised the side to give us half a chance at this stage, I think has surprised lots of fans. If he stays around, that will be the biggest coup we could possibly get. But I think
you've got
to be honest,
bad goal difference as well.
Exactly, it's terrible. 1 point in it, and that goal difference is worth an extra point. But let's be straight: the damage was done so much earlier in the season, with again more terrible managerial decisions, keeping hold of managers for too long, and making the change too late. You know, Nuno has done an excellent job really since he came in, but it was too little, too late, and he can only do so much really.
God, I've forgotten. Is it Graham Potter? Was it?
It was, yeah. I've tried to forget. I've tried to forget. We all have, I think, Max. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it is because you've been good, right? I mean, the really annoying thing, I think, for you or Tottenham, whichever one goes down, right, is you'll probably have 40 points. Like, you could have 40 points and go down. Wow. And there have been so many years where you only needed about 7 and you'd stay up.
Yeah, I think everyone, sort of, West Ham fans included, were always calling for more exciting Premier League. The teams that come up always go down. And as soon as one of the teams that come up, or a couple of the teams have come up, have actually looked okay, and then West Ham and Tottenham get dragged in, they're like, actually, maybe we don't want it to be so exciting after all.
Yeah.
But no, like I say, the damage was done earlier in the season, and we have looked much better since Nuno come in, but only in as much as we've just started looking like a semi-reasonable football team again. Like, it's in mid-table form since Nuno's come in, but with the mountain he had to climb and how terrible we were beforehand, sort of just too much to do.
I've said it to Man United fans, and I'll say it to you. Should have kept hold of David Moyes.
But Charlie, you will not find a person who agrees with that statement more than me, and I get relentlessly abused by my fellow West Ham fans for saying that exact same thing. He was hounded out the club, and you can tell what has happened since, the trajectory of the club since, and the total shambles it was. I always say what David Moyes did at West Ham, not just winning the Conference League, but all the league positions, was like winning a Formula One race in a Mini.
It's funny how expectations change. It's like Tottenham now. You know, De Zerbi could come 11th. Let's say Tottenham stay up, right? Tottenham come 11th next year, and they'll go, let's sack him because 11th is no good. You're like, well, hang on. Like, Tottenham are literally about to get relegated. Well, how much are you staring at the fixture list? How much you just, because like last week, it can change in a weekend. Like, this weekend was so bad for you, wasn't it? Leeds win on Friday night. You lose, then Villa put out that side, and then Forest make all those changes and they win, and they're now pretty much safe.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. I think that obviously we're looking at Tottenham's fixtures as well, and you go, they've got to go to Chelsea. Chelsea will be well up for that. They'll definitely beat them, blah, blah, blah. And then look what they did against Forest. Absolutely abject.
Maybe not this Chelsea, yeah.
Well, exactly, yeah. You sense that if any of those Chelsea players are going to care about any games or care about their relationship with the fans at all this season, this is the one they'll turn up for, FA Cup aside, obviously. I just find when you're using phrases, gents, like hopefully players of X team are on the beach, which is aka Leeds and Newcastle when West Ham play them after the Arsenal game, I think you're sort of scraping the barrel a little bit and getting a little bit desperate. But we did win at Newcastle last season. We've been abject against Leeds twice this year away in the league, and then again in the FA Cup. Surely we can't be the second best team against them 3 times in a row. And again, hopefully they've done the business Premier League wise. They're out the FA Cup, so hopefully they won't be too bothered about a trip to London on the last day either.
Unless things come in threes.
Well, yeah, no, we can forget that. Forget that for this point I'm making.
Oh, I see. It's pick and choose. Those things.
That doesn't back up what I'm saying now.
Look, may the best team stay up, and I don't really mean it.
No, of course you don't.
Make sure it's not us. But good luck to you, Will. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Will.
Look, if you do go down, I'll get you back on. If you stay up, I won't speak to you again.
Yeah, see and speak to you in 3 years.
Good stuff. Will Pugh there from the Sun Sport presenter and West Ham fan. It is Max and Charlie with you until 4. We'll do Paddy's Challenge in just a second. Rafa Honigstein will join us. We'll do a bit more on Bayern, PSG. And after us, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent with Champions League Drive. Adrian Durham has Bayern PSG commentary on kickoff, and then the Sports Bar with Jamie and Jason after him. And we'll have the news headlines next.
Gentlemen, good morning. Calling all the way from Sydney, Australia.
Good morning.
Lovely to speak to the supply teachers today as the headmaster and Principal White and Jordan not working today. Alex, you might remember me. I rang up just before the Europa Cup final last year and you were going on about victory parades and buses and things like that. And we still managed to beat you in an awful game, but we had no Kulusevski, Bergvall and Maddison. And I did hear Adam Nathan, who you quoted, who is the purveyor of the finest gin and tonics in North London, said that you were kind of veritably choking in your quinoa bowl during the Brentford-West Ham proceedings.
He definitely doesn't eat quinoa.
Well, I'm being ironic, but the reality is this is the first month that I've gone to work in Sydney with a veritable spring in my step for quite a while. Full credit to De Zerbi. We've got a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I did speak to Simon and Jim 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said that we were down, and we're not there yet. We've got a long way to go, but De Zerbi, in a short period of time, he's been clever. He hasn't imposed De Zerbi ball on them. He's gone about with the vibes, as the kids would say, boosting the morale. And, Tudor, much maligned. We got them running and fitter again, and he gave them a base for De Zerbi to play the way that they did yesterday. So, and that's for all the West Ham fans crying into their jelly deals this morning. As other messages that you've got, we've got 7, 8, 9 players out injured. Crystal Palace were out boozing it up before they played West Ham. So there's no excuse, really.
It seems Mikel Arteta's brought back the old George Graham-style hard-fought 1-0 wins in the big games, and talkSPORT's Darren Bent says it's paying off.
There's no right or wrong answer. I think we've seen now from this Arsenal team, certainly where they are currently as we sit today, that this way is effective and you can win major trophies, hopefully, by playing this way. It doesn't have to be pretty and it doesn't have to be expansive.
Arsenal through to a first Champions League final in 20 years, but does that represent a significant achievement for the squad? Gabby Agbonlahor.
Don't want to be negative, but if you look at their route, deservedly finishing top of the league stage, but their route to the final, they should be in a final. Now the hard work starts, preparing for that.
Who will Arsenal face in Budapest? Bayern Munich at home to PSG is live on talkSPORT tonight from 7 p.m. Expect thrills and spills. Now, if Michael Owen could make one signing to replace Mo Salah, it would be Jared Bowen.
West Ham,
adore the man, and rightly so. But if West Ham went down, he would fit for me.
Owens also told talkSPORT Liverpool have pensioned Andy Robertson off too early. You can catch up with Owens' interview on breakfast on the talkSPORT YouTube channel or app. And John Rahm doesn't see how he could get out of his Liv contract even if he wanted to.
We want to be here. It's been a lot of fun. I want to keep competing. I want to keep sharing some time with them. But time will tell. Obviously, I think Scott and his team have a lot of hard work to do.
Liv Golf need new investment to continue after this season, after the Saudis confirmed they're pulling out.
Challenge on talkSPORT with Hawksby and Jacobs. What critics are calling one of the many radio quiz segments happening this week. Paddy Power. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Our time now for Paddy's Challenge, our quiz for charity in association with our friends and official betting partner Paddy Power. In Paddy's Challenge, we put our knowledge of the wonderful world of sport to the test with the chance of raising lots of cash for our nominated charities. I'm playing for the Sporting Memories Network. Charlie raising funds for the Rowcroft Hospice and helping to manage proceedings and ensure fair play. Here's our guest quizmaster, Ben Fletcher. Welcome, Fletch.
Hello, Fletch. Good afternoon, gents. You know the drill. In Paddy's Challenge, you'll each be asked 3 multiple-choice questions, usually posed by the voice of Paddy Power, Alistair McGowan, but he's away this week, so I shall be doing the honours. I assume that means I get his voiceover fee.
Where is he when he goes away? Do we know?
Not sure. Does he rehearse on his voices, do you think?
What? I'm sure he's. I don't just don't do them on stage when he goes.
Do you think he's so good he's never practiced them when he does them? I don't know.
He just sort of, I don't know, goes somewhere.
I'd say his Mark Lawrenson's his best one. I think he's very good at it.
I think so.
Do you think so?
He does that one.
But I also think, Charlie, it's interesting you asked Fletch does Fletch know where Alistair McGowan goes on holiday?
He's in charge of the quiz, so
I know many things, but not that, I'm afraid. Okay. The winner will be the player, we sort of said that. The winner will be the player that scores the most points. In the event of a tie, you'll both win the chance to raise some cash for your charities. Last time we played, Max won and backed Ipswich to beat QPR last weekend, which they did 3-0.
Max.
It was a good bet because it was worth another £24.40 for the Sporting Memories pot. Let's see if we can raise some more cash for your charities this week. The virtual coin toss has taken place in the control room, or gallery as we say in Radioland, and it has decreed that Max will be going first on this occasion. And I've not stapled this properly, so I can't read it. First world problems. Max, question 1. Ready or not? In their recent Women's Six Nations win against Wales, England's Red Roses completed a record-extending tally of how many consecutive Test wins? Was it A, 26, B, 42, or C, 36?
I think it's C.
1 point to Max.
Absolutely right. The Red Roses secured a 5th Triple Crown in a row in front of over 26,000 fans in Bristol. Not far from you, that is it, Charlie, Bristol?
Well, I don't live in Devon anymore, but still not very far from me, no.
Down the M4?
Yeah, about halfway between my house and my mum and dad's house.
Yeah, your service station's down there?
Gordano's.
Gordano's,
good service. Or Lee Delamere if you want to stop earlier.
There we go.
I'd like to know the full line across the earth that is equidistant between your house and your parents' house. Because, there'd be lots of places.
Sure, I mean, I'm just, answering the question.
That sounds like a Michael Porcello Channel 5 series, doesn't it, in the making? Charlie, Max has a 1-0 lead. Let's see if you can do something about that with your first question. In their recent Champions League first leg semi-final, PSG came out on top in a 9-goal thriller against Bayern Munich. It was the highest-scoring semi-final since Eintracht Frankfurt beat which Scottish side 6-3 in the 1959-60 European Cup?
Was it A, Rangers, B, Celtic, or C, Motherwell?
When you've either read this fact and you know it because you've read it recently, or not a clue, so you're just naming football teams.
I mean, that is essentially what general knowledge is, Charlie. You either know the answer or you don't know the answer.
Have you listened to
talkSPORT?
talkSPORT?
Guess at the others, can you know? Well, I want to say Motherwell, but that seems too obvious. I'm going to say Rangers.
1 point to Charlie.
Is correct. Absolutely correct. Go get it.
Suddenly think it's a good question.
Go get it.
With
what a player.
PSG netting,
what a player.
Good player. With PSG netting 43 goals and Bayern 42, it was also the first time two teams have each scored more than 40 times in a single Champions League campaign. How about that? So one apiece. Question 2, Max. On Monday, Chelsea suffered a dismal 3-1 loss to Nottingham Forest to bring up how many consecutive losses in the Premier League? Was it A4, B6 or C7?
6.
Yeah.
Is the correct answer. Since Thomas Frank was sacked by Tottenham on February the 11th, Chelsea have the lowest points tally of any team in the Premier League and would be sitting at the bottom of a Premier League table since that date.
Lucky it didn't start them for Chelsea.
Yeah, good job, really.
Isn't it?
Because they'd be in a relegation battle right now.
Because it starts sort of mid-August, doesn't it?
Generally speaking.
And if some players had no players, so some teams had no players at all, they'd be like bottom as well. So if we're just going to say hypothetical situation.
Torquay aren't bottom, are they? Playoff final.
You girls, playoff final. Saturday, v Hornchurch.
Yeah, but you're not going to be there, are you? Why?
I'll be on Virgin Radio 2 till 6.
I work Saturdays as well.
Distracted FM.
But we'll go into that a bit later. Charlie, your second question. The Women's T20 Cricket World Cup is only weeks away from starting. When did England last win the title?
Oh.
Was it A, 2009, B, 2018, or C, 2023?
They won a World Cup recently. I don't know if it was the 2020 World Cup. I'm going to guess 2023.
Oh, dear.
Incorrect answer. It was 2009.
Stinker. He's had a stinker.
England won the inaugural event in 2009. This year's tournament runs from June the 12th to July the 5th across England and Wales. So, Max, an opportunity for you to get a hat-trick and indeed win with your third question. Good luck.
Yeah, here we go.
In their recent Champions League first leg semi-final, PSG narrowly beat Bayern Munich 5-4. This feels like a question we've had already, but it isn't. How many goals did Harry Kane score for Bayern in that particular match? Was it A, 1, B, 2,
Easy
or
question.
C, none?
This isn't who beat who in 1952, is it?
It's all in the coin toss, Charlie.
Recent history question.
Yeah, it's all history, though.
What are we going with, Max? Was it Uno?
1.
Max wins.
Oh, that's it. That's a new bit of VO there.
Thanks, Alistair.
Somebody's getting paid. All right, don't overdo it, Billy. Leave that to me. The stage is set for Kane in tonight's second leg decider. So Max has indeed won, but we have got a little bit of time to kill. So just for a bit of hashtag false
No, we
fun, Charlie, let's give you your third and final question, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
It's what we do when Paul and Andy are here. It's recently been confirmed that what player action could be worthy of a red card at this summer's FIFA World Cup? A, covering their mouth. When, yeah, that's
Cover your mouth.
Answer. There you go.
What were the other two?
Taking their shirts off or going down with time-wasting injuries.
These you said, with time-wasting injuries.
There we go. Congratulate Time Wasting Radio. Congratulations to you, Max. Speaking of which, you are today's winner. You've won a free £20 bet that Paddy Power will place for you, so you can try and win some cash for your charity. It just remains for me to ask, what are you going to go for?
Bayern Munich to progress.
Ooh. Well, we'll see how you get on and reveal the winnings next week. In between times, do check out Weekend Extra Time on talkSPORT 1 till 5 Saturday and Sunday mornings with me, Ben Fletcher.
Thank you. That was this week's challenge in the book. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Power. 18+, BigGamblerAware.org.
Paddy's Challenge on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. 18+, BigGamblerAware.org.
This is Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Get your toolbox essentials this spring with big savings on screws and fixings. Next stop, Toolstation. We'll close the show with Rafa Honigstein, German football expert, looking ahead to Bayern versus PSG.
requesting sports story of the day is to Super Ali McCoist in Ask Ali. I've got one of mine just quickly, Coisted, to start things off. Cesc Fabregas is currently manager of Como. They are 5th in Serie A. He's been speaking today saying, of course, he wants to manage in the Premier League.
Yes.
Do you see Cesc Fabregas as the next manager of Chelsea?
Cool. If you're Chelsea fan, you'd bite your hand off for that. If you're Cesc Fabregas, I think you're weighing up that situation extremely carefully because of what's going on up at the top. I mean, surely he's done a great job there, man. I mean, what a job at Como. Fantastic. And he will. I don't think there's any doubt that he'll manage in the top flight in England sooner rather than later. But is Chelsea right now the perfect job for Cesc Fabregas? As I mentioned earlier, I mean, Chelsea fans would probably be salivating at the prospect of him coming and taking it, and so they should be. But I think there's warning signs at Chelsea. He'll have looked what's happened recently, Jeff, and he can't have failed to have noticed that it might not just be the perfect environment for him to start his career in England.
No.
Is that fair or harsh?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I just look and think, okay, where is he going to get a better opportunity?
Yeah.
Jumbo and Peter Capaldi.
It just so happens that it's all you're amazing.
Right. Paul White. Sir Lenny Henry.
I was face down and the dog sniffed my crotch. It was very, very embarrassing.
Staying out for the summer.
Anthony says, Charlie, it's Gordano, not Gordano. It sounds far too posh to be that close to Bristol.
I think I'll say it how I want to say it.
Oh, wow, okay. Punchy from Charlie.
I think it's up to you how you say it, isn't it? Gordano's?
I don't know. I have no idea what.
I don't know why Anthony's got involved.
Is it a place? What is it?
Why have you got involved, Anthony? It's Gordano Services. On the way down, you get past Bristol and you go down towards Devon and you go Gordano's. Good one.
Okay. Sounds like a pizza joint, doesn't it? Anyway, Bayern Munich boss Vincent Kompany has been speaking to the media ahead of tonight's huge Champions League semi-final with PSG. It's live on talkSPORT. He was asked about Mikel Arteta's recent comments that both PSG and Bayern get more opportunities to rest key players ahead of Champions League matches.
Obviously, having been in the Premier League for many years, if I read between the lines, it's basically a calendar discussion. I don't think it's a criticism on PSG or Bayern Munich or anything like this. It's the fact that you have 38 games to play, plus the League Cup, plus the FA Cup. You don't really have a winter break. And then every single time someone has a bad game, you go, well, how comes they have a bad game? I think that's the conversation what these guys are having. So it's not for me to jump in, but it's a legitimate... because obviously Jurgen Klopp, being German, how many times has he not spoken about this? And I was in that time in the league, so I understand it. But it's not not my problem to solve at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think he answered that very well. Let's talk to German football expert Rafa Honigstein. Hey, Rav, how are you?
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you. Can you just promise us the same game as last week, please?
I cannot promise that.
Okay.
Sad.
But I think I can promise you good entertainment tonight.
Good. Who do you think? Who takes the game to who?
Well, I think both to each other, because they are not great without the ball. They don't like to play without the ball. I think Bayern, of course, have to go for it, and PSG will love to play on the counter-attack. I was surprised. I watched the whole game back again because I was in the stadium and I couldn't really see perhaps the bigger picture so well. And I was actually surprised that despite conceding 5 goals, I thought Bayern didn't actually do that badly defensively. I know it sounds strange. It sounds strange, but they didn't concede that many chances. So I still think that they have a really good opportunity to do it tonight, but it's going to be a cracking game, no doubt about that.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think Upamecano had a good game in that. I mean, you've watched it twice. I only watched it once, but I think you make a really interesting point. It's hard, isn't it? And it's hard because so many of these individual battles are kind of one-on-one battles, right? So if you are Nuno Mendes or whatever, if you're one of the fullbacks, you're going to get beaten by these wingers at some point because they're all really good.
Yes, and that's it. I mean, the 1v1 setup makes it almost impossible that you're going to not concede the odd chance and so on, because I read somewhere, this was a few years ago, that the world's best centre-backs win about 60% of the direct duels.
Right.
That still leaves 4 out of 10 times when the striker wins in a 1v1. And of course, if there's a 1v1 all across the pitch, then it opens space up for others to score. And you ideally don't want to have parity. You at least want to have a sense of superiority in terms of numbers against these type of forwards. But Bayern are not set up that way. PSG are not set up that way. And also, I think it needs to be said that both teams are incredibly good at creating chances. It's not a case of, both teams cannot defend. They're hopeless. They have no chance without the ball. They don't know what they're doing. It's both teams really are primed to create these kind of momentum, this kind of opportunities to get into these 1v1 situations, then make the most of them because they're so technically so strong.
I said earlier, it's 1-0 really. If you take out all the other goals, it's 1-0. Will they go in with that mentality? Do you think they want to try and score early, or will they hold and see?
I can't see Bayern holding that much. It's not really their game. But I think Vincent Kompany will tell him, look, you don't have to win the game in the first 10 minutes. I think there's a fine line between, using the momentum, as we saw with Arsenal yesterday, where they used a bit of the momentum from the crowd, especially in the first half, but not opening up too much and understanding that you have the full 90 minutes, maybe even longer, to find those 2 goals to win by. I can easily see this goal going into extra time because it finishes on 2-1 or 3-2. And then it comes down to whoever has a bit more. And I think what will maybe slow down a little bit from Bayern's point of view, slow them down, is if you remember at the end of the game last week, you saw a lot of PSG players with cramps, being either substituted or sort of really struggling to keep up the tempo. And Bayern looked physically a little bit stronger. Mm-hmm. And I think they will take heart from that and think, we don't have to do all of this in the first 20 minutes or the first half an hour or even the first 45. Let's just keep playing our game and the chances will come eventually.
I mean, it is hard to pick out which wide attacker or which of the attackers is the best or the most exciting. But I thought Luis Diaz was absolutely brilliant in that game. Not just the goal, but just, and maybe it's because I saw him play well for Liverpool, but I feel like I've never seen him play that well. I just thought the way he carried the ball was just so good.
No, I think you're right. He had his best game for Bayern. He's having a very good season, but he hadn't played this well individually before the game in Paris. And remember, this was a guy with a point of proof because he was sent off when they both played each other at the Parc des Princes in the group stage or the league stage. Bayern struggled, managed to win, but they played 45 minutes without him because he was sent off. And you could see that I think he wanted to help the team and make amends for that. And he was absolutely sensational. And I agree with you. I think individually, despite all the goals, despite all the brilliance from Dembele and Kvaratskhelia, probably the number one outstanding performer last week.
And it's set up for Harry Kane to score the winner in the final, rip his shirt off, have a Tottenham shirt on underneath it.
Was it you who was saying to Paul last week, Raphael, that you felt sorry for Harry Kane that he'd had to play in England for Spurs for so long?
I didn't say it quite in those terms, but I think that
was the thought.
That was the implication. Yeah. Yes. I don't know if he feels the same, but yeah, his game has gone to another level, and whether it's meant to be that he scores against Arsenal, I'm not so sure. I'd like to see Bayern get there first before I entertain more thoughts of that. But he's been wonderful, and there's no doubt that being surrounded by these type of players in a team that has the ball. Remember how much time Harry Kane used to spend playing without the ball in the Mourinho team and the Conte team, even in a Pochettino team at times, although they were trying to be quite dominant. It's just given him more confidence, more ability, and of course the experience and just making the right decisions all the time almost. He very rarely makes the wrong decision. Has taken his game to a level that I never saw before when it was still at Spurs. I think that's fair to say.
I think you may make a brilliant point. I don't think he put a foot wrong. Like everything he did with the ball last week was just absolutely spot on. Well, enjoy the game, Rafa. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Rafa.
Thank you very much.
Raphael Honigstein there, German football expert. Bayern PSG live on talkSPORT. What's going to happen in this football match, Charlie?
I think Bayern Munich will win 3-1 this evening. That's what I think.
Cool. Okay.
I think they'll have too much at home for PSG.
I think, yeah. Well, I said in the Paddy's Challenge that I reckon Bayern would go through, but I have not. That was because I love Harry Kane. He rips his shirt off, then he's got the Tottenham home kit on, then he rips that off. He's got an old yellow Tottenham kit, and then he's got a Sheringham kit, and then a Hoddle kit like this, and he's giving it to the Arsenal man. Totally unlike Harry Kane, like he's never done before. He's absolutely giving it to them. Anyway.
Feels like a lot of kits.
Yeah, he'll look like the Michelin Man, and nobody understand why. Anyway, that's us done. Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks, everybody.
Had a nice time. Thank you, Tool Station. And Drive is next with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent.
So at the moment, Arsenal sit top, 5 clear of Manchester City, who do have a game in hand. And Pep was asked, where does this leave it? In your eyes, where does this leave it all?
It's better the point than don't point, and it would have been better win the game that we needed at the point. So I know it was in our hands, in Arsenal hands as well before that game. It depends of the goals conceded. Now it's not. So, but for responsibility, you have Brentford, saturate 3 and continue, and we'll see what happens.
So it was 3-1. It ended up 3-3. Next up for Arsenal, West Ham away. Do you, like Thierry Henry, think you better watch that one?
Of course.
You better be careful of that one.
Of course, because this